has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And QX50 MSRP starts at only $36,550, which is less than its Acura, Audi, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
MSRP excludes destination charge, tax, title, license, and options. Infinity of Memphis or online at infinityofmemphis.com.
When you're in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandising at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find them among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame-retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way, and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Women's Sherpa jackets by Simply Southern starting just $29.99. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots, work, dress, or play. Come try on the latest boot trends as well as proven classics, Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, and Brett Stats Noiseworthy.
Good Tuesday, everybody. Nice to have you aboard on another gorgeous, sunshiny day. I feel a little upbeat. Well, I did. I felt upbeat. I knew I was going to see Brett. We're going to Drew's back today. I was upbeat about that.
I'm upbeat seeing you and Drew.
Did a bunch of stuff today.
Drew, you upbeat?
Yeah, glad to be back.
How about Dave picking the Bears as his NFL shot?
Oh, that makes you feel good? Go ahead.
I told you I was going to bring it up today.
Go ahead. That makes you happy.
Trying to kiss and make up with your Bears, Dave. No, what made you feel good? You're on a roll.
I had a bunch of really great uplifting conversations. I talked to Kevin Kane,
Yeah.
It's probably going to be my top story of the day, which is this half Ironman triathlon, and I'll get into that in a little bit. And that was uplifting, and I chatted with Steve Earhart a little bit, and I think he's got a lot of good possibilities. He'll tell us at 5:30.
Well, they got a great plan
About what they've got for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl coming up. And then, I got cleared everything away, did my prep, and walked my dog. Have to do that.
You ready for Little Rock?
Not quite. I did get notes on that. I mean, I still don't even have all the Little Rock notes yet.
They're better than they were last year.
But yeah, they are. They got good guards. And they scored a bunch last year. But when I went to that presser to pick up those notes and to hear what Penny Hardaway had to say, he came in stooped over. He came in just almost like a beaten man. I've never seen Penny with the sort of countenance that he had on his face. He just seemed
tired. The NCAA can do that to you.
He seemed frustrated.
That's a good word.
And the first thing out of everybody's mouth was, well, what's the story? What have we heard? And
we would have bet resolution by now, wouldn't we?
I don't know. I guess, honestly, in my gut, I felt like if there had been this total compromising resolution, which we all said, well, that's what's happening. They're dropping the suit. There's a wink. There's a nod. This is all, he's going to get 4 or 5 games. We'll see if they vacate the 2. That's what's going to happen. And then really, the longer this goes, the more I think, and I don't know. I'm just going by gut reaction.
They love to make you twist.
That's
a penalty in and of itself. Already in recruiting, it is having some impact.
Look at what Chris Moore said. He said the drama of the NCAA is driving him or drove him to Auburn. Now, that's interesting, too, because the last I looked, Bruce Pearl and the NCAA,
Bruce Pearl?
they got a shadow
problem?
over that program too. So I'm not
Dave,
exactly sure.
Dave, I've known you a long time, and you have manned these airwaves with credibility for so long, and you out there throwing around accusations around Bruce Pearl.
No. Bruce Pearl's assistant is on wiretaps.
Oh, okay.
That I know for a fact.
I did hate it for Chuck Person, though. But to sully Bruce Pearl's great reputation.
Right. The show cause guy?
Yeah.
Just
a barbecue.
Yeah. Anyway.
The NCAA can do that, Dave, and they love that slow burn because they work by the hour.
But doesn't it sort of speak, and I don't know, I'm just guessing, but doesn't it sort of speak like if this, if we had this compromise that everybody thinks was a part of dropping that lawsuit, would you have heard already? Or is it the longer it takes?
I thought it was going to be by Monday.
The longer it takes, don't you think they're going, you know what?
Let's re-examine everything.
I'm just saying we think you, no matter what you did, we think there was a violation here. We told you the penalty was going to be 9 games. And
I bet it'll be closer to 9 than it will be to 5.
I'm getting to think that too. And I'm also thinking, and I was citing Chase Young earlier and probably trying to be more Pollyanna and hopeful, but aren't they going to say, and by the way, we got to make a point here that you're not going to take us to court. You're not using stays of some sort of legal matter, injunctions to try to bend our will. So you're going to lose the 2 games that you played them, that you won. I don't know that. I'm just saying to you, and when Penny was asked, he said there was a great deal of communication between compliance, the department that Memphis has with the NCAA, their compliance department, the legal department, the university's own legal counsel, is also in contact with the NCAA. He is not. They've talked. They do not have any time frame. They do not have any new news.
Dave, I did not. People that are watching on Facebook, you can message us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. That wry smile you saw, it was not a gleeful one. The wry smile was, insert a different name here, and I've heard it all. You think you're out there in front of it with compliance. Mm-hmm. You think your legal's got a great handle on it. You think administratively with your chancellor, president, provost, whatever it is, you're out there rolling with it. The coach, his staff, the men's basketball department, they're in full agreement and compliance. I've heard all this so many other times, and you think you're doing all the right things, and it's almost like they're saying Simon says, and you're doing it. But you did it without us saying Simon says. You got to start all over again.
Well, the whole thing is you never hear from them. That's the problem. Maybe compliance does, maybe legal department does, but you're not hearing. The public is not hearing.
It's cryptic when you do.
We all thought that Leslie Ballin and Randy Fishman had a good case. Mm-hmm. I think they felt good when they decided they were going to drop the case. At least that's what I keep hearing. I've not spoken to either one of those great counselors. I think there was a case that could be made because, in my mind, it's a pretty unique instance here where a coach paid for a kid in high school and was linked as a booster because when that kid was 7 years old, they gave money to the school. I mean,
never dreaming
it's
he
a
was gonna be
pretty
head coach.
Unique situation. I think we
really
all
is. Almost
we all
storm.
would agree that it is not fair to James Wiseman that in May they said, you only got 1 year to play college basketball. You can go to Memphis and you can play that year. When if they had said to him, you know what, James, your mama got money from Penny, even though he was not the coach at the time, and if you want to go play at Duke or you want to go play at Kentucky, or you want to go play wherever you want to, because I think every school would take you, you get to play the full year there, but you can't play the full year at Memphis. He would have gone another route, but they didn't do that. They said he could play here. So that all those indicators would say to you, okay, they've got a pretty good case. And I think when we all saw that he dropped the case, we not heard from the NCAA about this, but we sort of believed that would be the case. Now I'm starting to really wonder if that is the case.
And I'm about to change my wry smile, almost a sympathetic wry smile, into a full-bore laugh in anybody's face, and not to do it militantly, but in almost anybody's face that thinks they're going to catch a good, brokered, nice deal from the NCAA. Mizzou still waits. And Steve Earhart told me last Tuesday, you'd already slipped away. He told me last Tuesday that Mizzou is to operate as if they're going. They have been not told yet they can't go. But what are they waiting on? We're 2 weeks from bowl invitations going out.
They're playing like they have been told they're not going.
They haven't scratched since beating Ole Miss.
No.
Home or road.
No.
I mean, anywhere.
Well, and they're, in many cases, not even in the games.
Really not. I mean, and today the news that Vandy's going to keep Derek Mason into next year. They're not going to make a change. 6 years, not even a winning season. I can defend it. I also could be skeptical of what's going to change next year for him.
Here's what I'll say.
But Vandy beat Mizzou.
Exactly. So since Ole Miss beat them, they lost 21-14.
Since Mizzou beat Ole Miss.
Since Mizzou was a winner, right. 21-14, a loss at Vandy. 29-7, a loss at Kentucky. 27-0, a loss at Georgia. Well, they're a different team. When they're at home, we know they're going to bounce
back at home, first time since the Ole Miss game.
And they're not even in the game against Florida. Now it's a good Florida team, let's be honest. I mean, it is. That team is
it's a team that wants chaos.
I mean, they're 9-2, and they're going to play Florida State, so they're probably going to end up a 10-win team. So they're pretty good, but they were not in the game. It was 23-6. So I don't know. They got Arkansas. You know that'll be where they got Tennessee in a game that
I don't know about either one of those.
That's a game Tennessee's got to have.
Mizzou's hard to figure. Tennessee's hard to figure. And will Arkansas fight at War Memorial?
I don't know. 44. Here's what I think. I'll give you my very early Friday football forecast on that one.
We're not going to pick it. It's going to be your lock?
Give me 44.5. Could be my lock or my shock.
Can I give you some bad news on the preseason picks?
Of course.
You're dormy.
I'm dormied?
The best you can do is lose to me by 1. Drew can still beat me.
Huh. That's because I tried to pick too many upsets. But if we look at just records, I wonder what it'll look. Just go and look at records and see what they're like.
We'll do all that.
Okay. I'll figure out a way to make this look good.
That's new math, but I wish you well.
I'll figure out a way.
I wish you well.
All I know is the picks. Everything's changing.
Here he comes on the picks, Drew.
Picks are changing.
He's catching up.
Like the golf picks thing. Like he actually won that on his own merit.
Let him believe it.
The bitterness in these guys is incredible.
Do we look bitter?
I'm not bitter.
I mean, we look anything but bitter, don't we?
I'm smiling from ear to ear right now.
We know the truth.
Can I tell you how we can make a lot of people smile? Seriously. How would you like a full year with no house payment? All you got to go is to sports56whbq.com.
What a year.
To enter our wonderful contest called Home for the Holidays. You got a chance to win a full year of mortgage or rent payments on us. That's right. A year's worth of house payments. All you got to do is go to sports56whbq.com to enter. That's simple. We want somebody to really have a smile.
Dave, that was some segue. You wanted to get out of a subject that you were kind of behind in because you knew.
How was I behind in it? Am I catching? Did I catch you in golf picks?
Because you knew we were golf picks.
Did I catch you in golf picks?
So you segue.
Yes or no answer.
You segue into a great promotional read, almost like Kevin Harlan working in that read the night the Black Cat got on the field in the NFL game. He worked in a read.
Does anybody work more than Kevin Harlan? Seriously. That guy is doing 2 NFL games, and I don't know how many TNT NBA games. He's doing 4 or 5 games a week.
And never clears his throat. I know he's got a cough button nearby.
But
I bet he doesn't use it much.
He's got those great
You know what he doesn't use for football? Does not use a spotter.
No way.
He does not. He said, he's doing 2 or 3 games a week. Now, that's a lot of games. But he said, NFL rosters, he wants to know them well enough that he doesn't need a sponsor pointing, to number 47. He knows who he is and where he played college. No spotter.
Wow. He obviously hasn't worked games at the Liberty Bowl.
He obviously has not been on the
because you can't see the numbers.
92nd floor of the Liberty
Let me tell
Bowl.
you that some of those Memphis uniforms, you cannot see the numbers.
Next year at Tuscaloosa, the press box will go to the other side.
Really?
They're going to make what historically has been the press area into suites, because times are tough in the SEC. Money's tight. Got to leverage more room. Liberty Bowl, if it went to the other side.
They should do it. You know what they should do? They should, instead of erecting a whole new thing, they should take like the bottom and build down from the existing structure.
Take a few out, yeah.
And, take a few of the seats at the top out and build down, because that would be the right vantage point.
Wouldn't hurt a thing.
No.
That would be a good move. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. I didn't make quite the segue into a read that Dave does. They're at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 362-8833, Lexus of Memphis, offering the golden opportunity November and December to remember sales event. Great offers on all 2019 models that remain and all the new 2020s that are overtaking the dealership. Special lease options always. If you ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look great in a Lexus as well. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving great. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the industry. It's great to be at that dealership. It's like a dealership you'd see in Highland Park in Dallas or really big city. When you purchase a Lexus top-of-the-line engineering, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. 362-8833, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
This is a great one. Again, congratulations to all the guys at the Memphis Sports Council and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the tourism aspect of Memphis. They got the Iron Man to come to Memphis after all. Remember, we thought we'd lost the whole thing to Tulsa? We did. Tulsa got the full marathon. Memphis, however, is going to get the half marathon. It's the signature half triathlon. It's something I know great. Brett, you want to partake in this? 1.2-mile swim, followed by a 56-mile bike ride, followed by a 13.1-mile run.
I respect that, but I'm going to go back to our late friend, the late great, the dear Paul Hartledge, whose idea was a triathlon was darts, pool, and checkers in a dimly lit bar.
And he was good at that. Well, he was very good at one-arm curls, too.
Yes.
Where are they going to swim at?
They're going to swim in Hyde Lake. So you've
about
got
to say, if they're trying to do it
Hyde
in the
Lake
Mississippi,
is now
they're
beautiful.
going
Go over
No,
those
it's at
links
Shelby
again.
Farms.
You're going to ride a bicycle. How far?
56 miles.
And you're going to swim.
1.2 miles.
And you're going to run.
A half a marathon, 13.1 miles. Now, the
who could
true
do all this?
Ironman triathlon is double that.
Our man Beau Marchand.
Oh, I know. Hey, we could see if he's coming to this.
Get him
It's
to town.
next October the 3rd. And talking to Kevin, this is amazing. So there's 2,500 to 3,000 participants. There's another 2,000 to 3,000 that come that are part of their team, correct? He says, without any question, it's at least $10 million to the Memphis economy. So you got to thank Melvin Gibson, J.J. Greer. They did a lot of the legwork. And, of course, Kevin Kane could sell ice to Eskimos.
He could.
You know that. And so the Ironman triathlon, that half triathlon, they're famous for this. It is coming next October.
Very good. My top story tonight in downtown Memphis, the Golden State Warriors in town. Well, kind of. 5 straight trips to the NBA Finals, but not really this team. 3 titles, but not really this team. Steph, not really tonight. KD, not at all tonight. Draymond, kind of tonight. Very different this year. Steve Kerr, surprisingly for me, still there. I wonder how long he'll like being with this bunch. And by the time Klay Thompson gets back next year, I wonder if Steve Kerr will be there.
I think Steve Kerr's going to sit this one out and take it.
Going to take his lumps?
And take his lumps and see if he can't bring them all back together.
And I hope
the
he's
same
fine
team without
health-wise,
KD.
because that back can get really tricky.
Yeah, I
for
think
him.
I think he's in okay shape this year.
Not top story of the day.
So I'm going to that same game. It's a little different.
You're going tonight?
No, I'm not. But I'll watch it.
I will too.
But do you know what the cheapest ticket for this game is?
Well, the Grizzlies always have a pretty good terrace level ticket. $14?
No, sir.
More?
No, sir.
Low?
Yes, sir.
6.
7.
$7 ticket?
You can get on Ticketmaster, as of this morning, a $7 ticket.
Pretty good value.
So the big ticket for this season so far is Saturday against the Lakers. That same ticket, upstairs. Cheapest ticket in the place.
28.
No.
15.
Go the other way.
40.
No.
80.
Close. 76.
I'd go tonight.
A ticket for 7 to see LeBron and company is $76.
Well, they got the Magic this year.
So this is the interesting thing. That ticket for Golden State tonight, when the schedule was released and tickets went on sale, $41. But when you're 2-12,
market forces are in play.
Yeah. But by the way, the lower bowl Lakers tickets, there are still a few left. What do you think through Ticketmaster on a website right now for Saturday's game, knowing it's the hottest ticket of the year?
Between the free throw lines?
I don't know. It's a lower bowl ticket. That's all I know.
$475.
No.
More?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. $675.
$623.
You know life will be complete when I get to the prices right and get to play Plinko.
And you got to add on all the fees. So you're probably paying with that $620-something ticket, you're going to end up paying $800.
Well, that $623 could include the fees. I don't really know.
It never does.
It's expensive.
They always add stuff.
It's expensive. My not top story. Top 25 AP in college football and college basketball. Here are the teams that are in both this week. Here are the teams that are in both. Ohio State, the Ohio State. 2 in football, 10 in hoops. Oregon Ducks, you just saw them last Tuesday night.
I sure did.
6 in football, and I think they're really good and have gotten better over the course of the year since the opening night narrow loss to Auburn. 6 in football, 11 in hoops. Memphis, 16 and 18. Baylor, 24 in football, 13 in basketball. That's 4 teams that can say they're in both this week.
Wow.
4. What
So
kind of company do you keep?
Florida was in for a little bit, but Tennessee got in the basketball poll this week, but not in the football.
Ryan Day, Chris Holtman at Ohio State, Mario Cristobal, Dana Altman at Oregon, Matt Rule, Scott Drew at Baylor, and Mike Norvell and Penny Hardaway.
How about that?
What a company to keep.
How about that? Just 4. Just 4. That is absolutely
This is
phenomenal.
as good as it gets, isn't it?
Yep.
And can get better. It doesn't mean you go backwards when it gets good.
So last thing on the Penny Hardaway press conference today, and after the Wiseman stuff got sort of sorted out and before they really started to talk about Arkansas Little Rock, which is the game tomorrow at 7.
Yeah, I don't really know what they want to be. Do they want to be UALR? Do they want to be Arkansas Little Rock? Cal used to derisively call them Little Rock, and now they call themselves just blanket Little Rock.
That's what they call themselves, Little Rock.
Yeah. At one time, it was Little Rock Junior College, and they had a fit when you'd still call them that after it wasn't a junior college.
They're not junior college anymore.
No, they're definitely not that.
No.
Darryl Walker is a good basketball man.
I wonder, is the
and a good man.
The guy that is their announcer.
Ray Tucker.
Ray Tucker. He's still there,
Our
isn't
friend
he?
Ray
He was
Tucker.
there last year.
Yeah, Ray Tucker and Kevin
Good
Crash used to do the games. I don't think Kevin he's doing them anymore, but Kevin was a good college basketball player at OBU and renowned attorney and chair of War Memorial Stadium Commission.
But before that discussion came about, Penny was asked because yesterday Rick Barnes said that, excuse me, couldn't even get to the
All right.
stop button there. He said that he thought next year on the neutral, after this year in December, the Tigers play Tennessee, then next year it's a neutral in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena, that would be the last one. So Penny was asked, and we know Penny had plenty of fire regarding the Tennessee program and Rick Barnes a year ago. And Tennessee and Penny is never one to shy away or be the politically correct guy. And in this particular case, he always speaks from the heart. He basically said, no, I want it to continue. If there was a lot of bad blood or whatever it was last year, I'm long over that. I think the state wants this game. I think the state needs this game. It's a great competition. I want it to continue.
I agree, but he's not, but I would not beg them because I think they've played the University of Memphis a little on the football with nothing tied to it. Not even the one-off home and home in 2032 and 33. For the Tigers not be able to broker that, I think they've kind of snookered them a little bit. I would not let Tennessee determine the self-worth, the value of this great program. If they don't want to play, beat them this year in Knoxville, beat them next year, or at least play them. Play them this year and next year. You go do your thing. We're going to go do ours.
You know what?
I
used to think you could try to leverage schools with basketball to try to play you in football.
And you could, but that's kind of lame.
I think that's over now because football is way, way, way more powerful. I just want good games. I want good regional games. I'm willing to play Tennessee personally. I obviously am not a representative of the university. I have nothing to do with decision making. I don't even know what they think about that in this regards of trying to tie the two together. I know that was a philosophy from the past, but I don't think you can do it anymore. And I want good games. So I would play Tennessee without football. If they want to play us in football, I think they should. But I'm not going to tie that.
When do you prefer this game? In the February spot that the 1 and 2 fell in, or that pre-Christmas spot? Or whenever,
I like that February spot, and I'll tell you why. I like it because you're seasoned. It's coming right before you play the NCAA tournament, and it gets you away from conference just for a minute. It's a little different look.
A little diversion.
I like that February. I'd take it in December if that's all they're giving me, but I like that February. And you know what? Memphis used to play Gonzaga in February. There was always one major blockbuster game,
Xavier,
and that was part of the Calipari philosophy.
They played Villanova a time or two in that spot under Cal.
They did. This portion of the show brought to you by Family Leisure, my friends Lindsay and Billy Connolly and all the folks over at I-40 and Whidden Road as this month starts to wind down. And you're, I know, thinking, okay, we got Thanksgiving and then, whoa, Black Friday's right around the corner. Whoa, it's Christmas time and Hanukkah time. And I got to have gifts. How about a man cave? How about getting something that makes a man cave a man cave? I'm talking 3-piece theater seating. That starts at only $9.99. Those great massage chairs, wow, a price on state-of-the-art here. For $6.99, you won't get a better deal. Pool tables starting at $14.99. Shuffleboard tables. I think shuffleboard was part of Hartledge's triathlon. Forget checkers. It was shuffleboard.
I couldn't come up with a third one. I made that up on the fly, and it sounded like it, didn't it? That was a big swing and miss. Checkers. Paul would be.
I've never played checkers in a bar. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Well, we got what you were thinking of.
I blew that bad. Checkers. Come on,
checkers. Man. No, shuffleboard starting at $19.99. You can complete your man cave today at Family Leisure. Please go over there before this thing is all said and done. And if you need your pool closed down, please get to Family Leisure. Get on the schedule. Mention this radio station, mention Wolo and Stats, and you can even say checkers, and they will give you $20 off. We got to take a break. We are back in a minute. Our friend Gabe Kuhn's going to drop by. We'll talk Tiger football in a second. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
An experience with CJ Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
The Season of Performance event is going on now at Acura of Memphis. Choose from a large selection of Acura of Memphis's entire lineup. The Acura TLX with premium tech and exceptional performance. Or drive the 3-row, 7-passenger SUV, the Acura MDX. Or Acura of Memphis' top-selling luxury crossover, the Acura RDX. Stop in and take advantage of special year-end pricing as well as incredible lease and financing options. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
In case you haven't noticed, there's a renaissance going on in downtown Memphis, and you can enjoy a perfect panoramic view of everything that's happening at 3rd and Court, Memphis's new downtown diner. Settle into a seat at the counter or one of the spacious booths, order a delicious classic diner meal, have a cocktail if you'd like, and watch the exciting changes that are happening every day in downtown Memphis. This time of year, you can always find a reason to go downtown, and another one of those reasons is 3rd and Court, where old school diner meets today's modern palate. It's time for some good food downtown. It's time for 3rd and Court.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
Sports fans, if you're looking for a great place to retire for 55 plus, the perfect spot is Town Village Audubon Park, corner Cherry and Park. This Friday, Eli and Greg are going to be there live from 10 to 1. Come hungry. We're serving up 3 Little Pigs barbecue with beans and coleslaw, and we're giving away 4 rounds of golf at Wedgwood Golf Course, plus 2 carts. Wedgwood greens are absolutely beautiful this year, and they have the coldest beer and the best burgers around. See you at Town Village this Friday, 10 to 1, 950 Cherry Road.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back into the Family Leisure Studios. A quick reminder, Gabe Kuhn's going to join us in a second, then Brett Beard. More college football. Jeff Moore on the National Football League. More National Football League with Bo Marchant. Steve Earhart on the possibilities for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And a whole lot more. But first, we talk Tigers, and we love to do that with Gabe Kuhn. It's brought to you by ATC Fitness, Tactical Investments, Wolf Chase Nissan, Wolf Chase Honda, Stereo One, and Pop's Comfort Kitchen. All right, big guy. Explain this to me, being the
Have you had enough of us the last few days?
Of football.
Enough what?
You carried the show for us Friday. You chipped in yesterday. You
rest.
had enough of us?
Man, no.
This is
never
how,
enough of
You
you
got
guys.
12 more minutes of
This
us.
is how we give him stamina. Where this is training.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I guess we'll call it that.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a tough one right here.
Okay.
Explain to me, if you can, USF. They are 4-6 on the year. I'm a firm believer in just little indicators that you can see some things about teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched this for a long time.
All those stats do lie at times.
They can. I agree. This is a 4-6 team. However, giveaway, takeaway, they are a +6. Normally, a team that is a +6 this late into the season is a team that is well over 500. Memphis, by the way, is like now I think they're +1 or even. And look what they've done. So that's kind of weird in its own right. But this is a +6 team that is 4-6. Gabe Kuhn, how is that possible?
It's pretty inexplicable, but in the end of the day, they have no offense at all. I mean, defensively, they've been fine. They gave up 17 to Temple, 20 to Cincinnati, 20 to East Carolina. Navy was a little bit of an outlier. They beat BYU and held them to 23. Their defense is very solid, but offensively, they have been dreadful. I mean, one of the worst in the conference, and I don't even think it's really that close.
It looks like a team coached by a head coach that is the ultimate defensive guy.
Yeah.
And I think Kerwin Bell from opening night against Wisconsin he hadn't been much.
Mm-mm. And Wisconsin, that was good
Lord,
that was bad.
That was one of the gutless efforts of the year in college football.
That was 49-0. They quit in the first quarter.
And then against Temple, they quit literally at the end of the game. Offensively, I think they're to a point where they are just so helpless that if they get down in a game, they just start to quit. And I think defensively, they at times can hold down other teams, but at this point in the season, you're 4-6. You're feeling really helpless. The Tigers going in, they're clicking on all cylinders. Brady looks absolutely untouchable. He's seeing defenses at a different level at this point. I mean, he is seeing things before they happen. The touchdown he threw to even Cameron Wilson in that game against Houston.
That was a beauty.
And it's just like he saw it before it happened. I mean, he is reading defenses at a different level, and I think, South Florida, while they do have, some good linebackers, they have a guy named Patrick Macon, leads the team in tackles. Dwayne Boyles, who's a solid linebacker. That's where they make their money on defense.
I like the defensive roster.
Yeah, but I think on the back end, I feel like there's a lot to expose. I really do. I think their front seven is their strength.
Well, it has been.
They're going to do somewhat well against the run, but I think Brady White, the way he's clicking, is going to be the key to
the
this.
Tigers should work them, and then UCF will try to maul them on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
We're going to have to say they're going to end up 4-8 is what it seems like. So.
And maybe a coaching change, and maybe Willie Taggart or Jim Levitt.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Jim Levitt was a mistake to let him go, but there were reasons why. Well, there were allegations of sexual misconduct, and most universities don't mess around with that. And frankly, I don't know if he'll be back because of that. Although he's resurrected his career, there's no doubt, and there's no question in my mind, he's a good coach.
They certainly need to have a conversation about Willie Taggart coming back. This is a guy from South Florida. That's where he knows how to recruit. When he was there, they were recruiting really well. They had a lot of speed. They had a quarterback in Quentin Flowers who was really, really good.
Dave, I picked him to win the East this year.
Oh, that was
how bad is that? It's worse than Checker.
It fell right on your face on that one. But it happens.
They don't have a lot of fight. They're good for about a quarter, and then they seem to disappear.
I picked them to win the East and go 8-0 in the league. It gets worse. That's my penmanship too, isn't it?
Oh God! But
is that my penmanship, Dave? Yeah.
Let's see.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Tigers at this point in the season, they are the only team that can get in their way. They are more talented than the two teams they're going to play. They have played better than the two teams they're going to play. They just cannot have any self-inflicted wounds down the stretch.
Let's see how this plays out. So you got Memphis winning both this game and Cincinnati.
Yes,
at home.
Yes,
at 2:30 on Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay. This week, SMU and Tulane.
Interesting.
And even if Memphis wins this week, they could still not be the champions if they don't beat Cincinnati, because both those other teams have one league loss. One of them will have two. Who wins the SMU Navy game?
The SMU Navy game. That is literally that is a great question. I have no idea because that is the opposite. That is a complete opposite of scheming. Like you have the opposite style. Like there's no way to really judge that.
Can they round up a scout offense and defense at SMU too?
No,
and vice versa.
No.
Can Navy?
Well, I'll tell you.
I'll say this: Navy has faced teams that can throw the ball. I mean, Navy.
Well, look at what Notre Dame did, though. Notre Dame threw it right down their throats.
Yeah, they faced it, but at the same time, like SMU, I don't think their front seven is quite ready. But we'll have to see. I have no idea which way that'll go.
Our friend Bruce Marshall missed pretty bad Friday. He loved Navy over Notre Dame.
Yeah, he did. He said by 28-27 is what he said.
Ooh. Went 4-3 for the week.
I was surprised in that.
That's only a 33-point swing there.
If you're scoring.
I would say this. If SMU can jump up by 10, 14 points early in this game, I think they'll win the game.
Yeah.
But if Navy keeps it away from them and then beats them up a little bit, I don't. But so here's what they both have left after that. Just in case Memphis were to lose to Cincinnati, if they beat South Florida, SMU's got Tulane.
Okay.
At home, though.
That's a tough one. It's a very tough one.
Navy is at Houston before they play Army.
Those are two tough matches. I think Houston. I think Houston's about toast.
You think they're done? Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah, I mean when you are when you're at the point where you're not going to make a bowl for the first time in however many years, it's been like 9 years.
Well, I think he's killed his team because he basically you can't lie to kids, right? Yeah. And those kids know, okay, he's asked me to redshirt, and I'll be a part of this next year. But all those guys know he sacrificed all those other kids because he didn't care about them when he came in. That whole senior class, he just said,
I don't care.
You're nothing to me. I don't care. You're the other guy's headache. You're the other guy's
coach. Why play on a swelled up knee?
Yeah, and then I see, when you get a team to 7 losses, like that's where they just start to fold. So we'll see what that happens.
And I honestly, for the league, I hope De'Ara King does come back to Houston. But if he
I wouldn't blame him
transfers to Oklahoma, this whole grand scheme,
it's going to come right back.
It's going to blow up in his face, and I'm going to laugh at that one.
I am too. And you're right about when you get to 7 losses and you're not going to a bowl. And look, there's 39 bowls, 78 teams. 2 teams are going to 2 bowls, and everybody else is going to go to one, so 78 teams will go to one bowl at least. It's hard not to go to a bowl now, isn't it? At Ole Miss now, 4 years in a row, no bowl. Now, we know why 2 of those 4, but those other 2, it's really hard not to go to a bowl the way we strategically schedule in the SEC.
Absolutely. In the American Conference, I think Houston had the talent. I mean, even without De'Aaron King, their schedule was really tough at the beginning of the season. They got 2 losses, Washington State, Oklahoma, that you sort of knew were going to be there. But at this point, playing for pride ain't easy. You can talk about pride all you want, but
the Dana Holgorsen job he's turning in at Houston reminds me of the job Tommy Tuberville did at Cincinnati.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I remember we got their defensive coordinator fired in 2014. That was a fun one. Golly.
Just went straight to his pocketbook, didn't you?
Oh my gosh. Tommy Tuberville, I remember him at Cincinnati.
The difference, if I could make one here on that, is Tommy Tuberville was sort of at the end of the string.
He'd been to the mountaintop.
He'd been to the mountaintop, and you could say that about Dana Holgorsen, but Dana's younger than Tommy Tuberville was at that time he took the Cincinnati job.
But I would really kind of compare Texas Tech to Cincinnati.
Okay, but Dana's taking this job because he wants this to be the last stop. He was the OC there. He's like coming home. He's got Texas ties. And so I don't see that he's thinking I'm going to cash this paycheck. It's my last one, and then I'm going to go off into the sunset and run for political office.
And in both cases, I thought West Virginia and Neil Brown,
Dana Holgorsen in office. That'd be a fun one.
The gentleman from Abilene, United States Senator Holgorsen. That's like Blutarsky at the end of Animal House.
Yeah,
but
right, exactly.
But Tuberville, Luke Fickell is better.
Yeah,
has been better at Cincinnati. And I think in time, Neil Brown will be better at West Virginia than Holgorsen.
Yeah. Because Holgorsen had his moments at West Virginia. I guess in time, maybe. He's always been an inconsistent coach. I think his whole thought process of sitting these red shirts down is going to come back and bite him regardless. Because next year, if you go 8-4, what was it for? Regardless of what your schedule is.
To go to the Armed Forces Bowl?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you sat down all these guys, let all these guys graduate to go 8-4 and go to the Frisco Bowl. What's the point in the end of the day? I still think next year there are going to be teams in this conference that are going to be ready to compete with them and beat them.
That message that they sent was basically 20%, 25% of this team does not matter to me. They're not my guys. Yep. So I don't care. And guys that are there now, they remember that.
Yeah.
They do. That he's killed any kind of togetherness or we're in this thing, baby.
And there's a mercenary feel out there right now in college sports.
Well, he took $20 million to come.
And he was feeling confident after that first quarter, didn't he?
Gabe,
he might have. The first 2 drives he had, our defense looked like Swiss cheese, porous.
That's the one thing I want to say about the point I want to make is that defense. It seems at times they need a swift kick in the butt at halftime to get themselves going, and those adjustments seem to help. That second half, they held Houston down pretty good.
They were pretty good. Matter. Right, honestly. Those first 2 drives that had, the 56-yard catch and the 76-yard run.
Yeah,
those 2 big plays are 130 yards of their 250 that they got. So take those out. And really that defense, after that interception, they clamped down. They were good from basically the first 5 minutes of the second quarter on. They just had a really bad first quarter.
Gabe will do this at the end of the year, but right now with 2 games remaining for the Tigers, so they're through 10 games, 9 up, 1 down.
Mm-hmm.
The inaugural Gabe Kuhn Offensive Lineman of the Year award goes to?
I have to say Dustin Woodard.
I knew he was going there. First of all, he's a center.
And not to mention...
Second of all, he followed him.
I know Dustin, and the thing that I really appreciate about what he has done this year is he's been a left guard or right guard his whole career. And they knew they needed some leadership in there. Kicking into center was the best thing for that group. They've meshed well, and they haven't been giving up much pressure. I think that's part of the reason Brady's been able to get through his reads, been able to make the right plays. So I have to give it to Dustin Woodard. Have to.
How many?
Manny Arona, close second.
How many? Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
After that first game against Ole Miss, he has settled in.
I think the second best guy is Dylan Parham.
Oh, I mean, he's got the experience.
Had the 2 or 3 penalties in a row. I mean, at opening day.
Yeah.
was kind of a scuffle for both offensive lines.
Yeah. But I think after that game, he has definitely come into his own.
How many games did you play as a Tiger?
Start or play?
Both.
I guess 51. 51.
This will be Woodard's 51st game coming up on Saturday.
He's gonna get me.
And his 48th straight
So
start.
records are made to be broken.
48th straight start.
He is going. Wait, it's 51st game. So he won't get me in starts then. No, he might.
Well, he's going to play.
So 1, 2.
He's going to play 4 more games, buddy.
Yep. No, he got me. I hope he gets me.
He won't record.
We need him to get you.
I think he might get Drew too. Drew was 52. Drew Kaiser.
Is that
52
right?
starts. Yeah. He never lets me forget about it. But of course, this has been Talking Tigers, brought to you by ATC Fitness, Tactical Investments, Wolf Chase Nissan, Wolf Chase Honda, Stereo One, and Pop's Comfort Kitchen.
Thank you, Gabe.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Gabe.
Appreciate
We appreciate
you
it.
guys.
We really do. We got to take a break. You heard all these people that love them. Look at all those sponsors. Good stuff. Back in a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
What comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner.
Are y'all gearing up at the Rendezvous for the holiday season?
We've got ribs, shoulders, nacho boxes. We're stacking them high. The elves are working hard getting ready for the Christmas season. You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. We'll also have a dolphin chatter excitedly in front of the perfect candidate. Okay, there's no dolphin. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Lotion and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back in as we cruise through our first hour. It's brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and, of course, always giving back. And you can, too. Just like Conway, you can be committed to helping join St. Jude in the fight against childhood cancers during what Conway calls their buyback promotion. They donate a portion of all systems replaced with the help of Carrier to St. Jude Children's Hospital. This is the way it works. You buy a brand new unit, a Carrier Infinity system from Conway, and they'll buy back what your repair bill might have been. So you've got an old system, and let's say the guy comes in and says it's going to cost you $1,300. You go, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to Conway. You show them the estimate, they'll give you $1,300 toward the purchase of your Carrier. And while they're doing that, they're giving a portion of it all, Carrier and Conway, to St. Jude. It's a heck of a deal. 384-3511, 384-3511. They're always giving back, and they've got the best that there is at Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. We already talked a little bit about the big ticket for Saturday, the Grizz and the Lakers. And we mentioned tonight, obviously, they're playing a shell of what was Golden State. And that's not the story today in the NBA. There's a great piece on ESPN.com.
Now, it's War and Peace. It's long.
It's a long one, but it's really fascinating reading. It truly is. There's a fellow who was a financial officer in the Sacramento Kings organization that over a period of time, particularly while they were building their new arena in Sacramento, he was able to figure out a way to siphon through sponsorship deals and naming rights, $13.4 million from the Kings organization. How did he get caught? It's so funny how these criminals end up getting tripped up.
It's always something small.
He ended up...
They don't have everything covered.
This guy was really brilliant at what he did, and I think he would have gotten away with it.
Super salesman.
But he decided to take a job offer from the Miami Heat. It was a raise. It was a promotion up. And when he did, there was an HR person that came in to sort of clean up his stuff, and she nosed around, and stuff didn't make sense. And she was very diligent at
just the antenna went up?
At what she was doing. Her antenna went up. This guy was creative. I mean, he had taken a bunch of that money and put it into real estate. And honestly,
a little ostentatious.
I don't think, in my mind, if he stayed at Sacramento, I don't think he would have gotten caught.
But greed.
Got him. It did him in.
Yep, it usually does.
Hey, by the way, he said he was going to pay everything back.
They always are, and he's not, and he's doing time now, and really lucky he didn't get a longer sentence.
$13.5 million he siphoned. 13. Think about that.
Right under the nose from the Sacramento Kings. And then I thought one of the real kind of stark part of the story was at a January of this year, of 2019, NBA meeting of league execs, it precipitated at just about everybody in the league of doing that thorough in-house examination just to make sure we don't have this going on under our noses.
Well, he was the topic of conversation in absentia because they were all going, could this happen to us? We've got to re-examine everything that we do. This guy was, first off, a great salesman. Secondly, a very smart financial guy.
And full of hubris.
And they totally trusted him. That's it. Because they thought he was so good at what he did. And one of the things they said was you didn't have to micromanage him because he was a go-getter. And he did get all of these sales he made. But he figured out a way to siphon it without anybody knowing into two accounts that he had created. And then, by the way, purchased real estate with it, which he was already flipping it to make more money that way. He had his wealth. He could have, in essence, he probably could have figured out a way to pay back.
He wasn't going to pay it back.
I tend to agree with you.
And that's what the 81-year-old judge basically said, preposterous.
Yeah.
You never had any intent to pay
Well, and other NBA guys were saying it would have been really hard for him especially once he went to Miami, it would have been really hard for him to figure out a way to get that money back to the Kings without getting caught.
But it also shows how very well trained and professional and crafty that agents of the FBI that they were. They went in and they got him really comfortable, not thinking that, we're not really suspecting you anything.
Right.
We're just here kicking a few tires. Got him comfortable, got him loose, and he kind of told him everything.
Well, he basically, they came in to soften him up by saying, we think you've been duped in real estate transactions because they, at this point he's thinking with the real estate transactions.
No, I'm comfortable where I am.
He's safe. He's good.
Yeah,
because that has nothing to do because it's a layer already removed. But they knew they were just.
And Dave, you just makes you
trying
wonder,
to get to him.
Just makes you wonder what other professional teams, not just the NBA, because we're seeing more and more stories of management level skullduggery in sports. This Astro story is not going away.
No,
I think it is. It's only going to get bigger. And please,
how many teams you think do that? Though?
30.
You think every one of them?
30.
I don't know. They were pretty elaborate in Houston.
Mm-hmm. But we know what the Patriots did with Spygate.
Oh, they did.
I mean, you got to be really naive not to think that there's not a lot of this going on in and around sports, pro and college alike.
Crazy stuff.
At one time at Arkansas, they had one of the in-house financial people literally taking loose change from the concession stands on game day. On Mondays, you'd go to McElroy Bank in Fayetteville, and deposit $8,000 in quarters. And finally somebody said, well, into her account. What's she doing with $8,000 worth of quarters? She didn't have a vending machine business. I mean, and it gets them caught.
It does. We've got coming up in just a bit Brent Beard. And
he's a Heisman voter. We'll see if he's with you on Joe Burrow.
I think he probably is. We're hearing some new whispers maybe about who could be heading to Arkansas. We'll see if he's heard any of that.
And it's just whispers. It's not anything ringing loudly yet. Willie Fritz is one of those names at Tulane.
That would be a great name to get for them.
Would not win any press conference, but he would win football games.
I think he wins a press conference okay. I mean, it's not like he's dynamic, but he's more professorial. I kind of like him.
It's going to be really hard for Arkansas to win a press conference.
I don't think it matters anymore if you win a press conference.
I know it does.
You got to win games.
I wouldn't be concerned at all with it.
When you've had this drought that they've had the last 3 years, you've got to win games.
I think people might need to take another look at the guy at Pitt. What is his name? Pat Narduzzi. Mm-hmm. I think he can really coach. There's some guys that have lost or are winners but have lost this year, might have losing records. Would you be that concerned with Mike Leach's record this year or the body of work
first
of
all,
Mike Leach?
if I were Arkansas, I would take – this is me, and I know you're going to go, well, look at his record this year. Okay.
I wouldn't say that.
I would take Mike Leach over their prize child.
I would too.
Gus Malzahn.
I would too.
Wow. And we're in agreement on that?
We are. Wins the press conference, he would be just quirky enough. Now, he may drive the liberals in Fayetteville crazy because he gets a little outspoken.
He does. But it's entertaining.
And you haven't been, it's almost entertaining to go to a Fayetteville City Council meeting. It's like being in Marin County.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine him going before one of those?
It would be a circus.
Maybe it's a sitcom. Whew. That's an hour in the books. Brent Beard is next. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Benswinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Benswinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Benswinger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Benswinger Glass.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Hey, you guys, the Liquor, Wine, and Beer Oasis awaits you at the Spirit Shop with a special invite for Thursday, November the 21st. Join the live remote 3 to 6 p. with Wolo and Stats. Take advantage of holiday pre-Christmas deals on your favorite liquor or wine. Stock up. We're giving away 2 pairs of VIP tickets to the U of M and Ole Miss game, 2 $25 gift cards for Neil's Bar and Grill, and Wedgwood Golf Course, 4 rounds and 2 golf carts. See you at the Spirit Shop, 4848 Poplar, the Little Log Cabin Liquor, Wine, and Beer Oasis.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
Sports fans, if you're looking for a great place to retire for 55 plus, the perfect spot is Town Village Audubon Park, corner Cherry and Park. This Friday, Eli and Greg are going to be there live from 10 to 1. Come hungry. We're serving up 3 Little Pigs barbecue with beans and coleslaw, and we're giving away 4 rounds of golf at Wedgwood Golf Course, plus 2 carts. Wedgwood greens are absolutely beautiful this year, and they have the coldest beer and the best burgers around. See you at Town Village this Friday, 10 to 1, 950 Cherry Road.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back into the Family Leisure Studios. I just heard the Spirit Shop thing. We want to remind everybody that remote actually will be not tomorrow, but Thursday.
We'll be there Thursday
at 4848 Poplar.
You can stop
Avenue,
tomorrow. You can visit with Eddie tomorrow, but come visit with us on Thursday. Look forward to it. Drew and I, we will be at Edwin Watts on Friday. You're going to join us in the first hour from South FLA. That's really in Tampa. It's not really in South FLA. It's really in kind of West Central.
So, yeah, West Central. That's a little bit better.
You'll join us first hour on Friday.
Let's go to North Florida.
And we're going to be out there hitting balls on the machines at Edwin Watts. And I know.
When's the last time you hit a golf ball?
I can tell you for sure. April of 2007. Now, I hit one. We were at Edwin Watts a few years ago, and I hit one on the.
They've got
new
machines there.
We were at Edwin Watts at Poplar and Perkins. And I hit one there. We had a couple balls.
Oh, I heard about that. Was the one it ricocheted off the wall, broke a window, the shank that you. Oh, is that not true?
Not true. You know that right down Central Ave. That's where I hit them. and then last
Central Ave. That would be a hard shot to make. That's from Poplar and Perkins.
So I hit one that day, and then last fall in Little Rock with a crew. And they on the drive.
You've been to a Lotion. Have you ever hit a shot there at all? Like off of
a tee box? When it opened early, but I haven't in a few years. But last year, just they wanted to see, and I crushed it.
Did you?
I did.
When's the last time? Have you ever?
Last round I played April of 2007.
Yeah, but have you been to one of my little places that I love so much that I never go to anymore because you don't go?
No, I don't play.
Forest City Country Club?
No, I don't play.
What kind of shape is that in?
I don't know. I hadn't been there since April of 2007 either. No.
Never for dinner?
No. I don't go.
Man, that's so disappointing to hear.
Never invited.
Well, I want you to get on the new computer setups
We will, Drew.
that they have.
I'm going to outdrive you.
I doubt it, but
bring it on.
Best of luck to you.
Oh, man.
I actually,
doesn't play anymore.
I got to say this.
Didn't have a good back when he had a good back.
Drew's going to smoke it by you. Well, he's going to, you know what we used to call this?
Are you lefty off the tee?
I am.
Oh, I didn't know that. I still think he'll get you. He'll do what we used to call Linda Ronstadt. You remember what that is?
Be careful.
Blue Bayou.
Boy, she was great in the 70s.
She was. She
married to Jerry. Did she ever marry Jerry Brown?
I don't think they were boyfriend and girlfriend.
What
I
a
don't think
career
they ever
Jerry
got
Brown
married.
had.
Yeah. Well, poor Linda got ill. It curtailed her career.
You know, Jerry
My
Brown's
two
dad
female
was
heroes,
governor.
Joni Mitchell. She's got some sort of disease and can't perform.
You know, Jerry
anymore.
Brown's dad, Pat Brown, is who beat Nixon in '62.
Right. Oh, I do
When
know
we weren't
that.
going to have Nixon to kick around anymore.
I remember.
We had him back around
I
to
do
kick him
remember.
around.
Let's kick the football around with Brent Beard. And how are you this afternoon? Let's just start with the rumors and the whispers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask you, through your knowledge and your history of the SEC, if you were looking for the kind of a guy that you think is the right one for Fayetteville, Arkansas, to bring the
Mr. Right.
Arkansas Razorbacks back into relevance, who would that coach be?
I've said for years, guys, that if you were Arkansas or Vanderbilt, which now is keeping their coach, that you would get a guy that has a tough-out alternate offense and bring him in. I would either get a guy who could run a wishbone like Paul Johnson, or I would get a guy like Mike Leach and bring him in and allow him to get a legitimate offense going. So those would be somebody typical what I would do there.
We were just talking Willie Fritz or Mike Leach, and I'd hire Mike Leach in a second.
Yes, yeah. I listen. I would love to see Leach in the league. Just to hear what he'd say every day would be the great thing about that. And by the way, guys, have y'all noticed this trend of embattled coaches getting
a reprieve?
I don't think dreaded is probably too strong. Vote of confidence to be back for another year in South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
Why is that, Brent?
Listen, I don't remember that happening like it has been as of late, particularly this year. I think it has a lot to do with the early signing period. When you think about it, today is November 19th. The early signing period, people may have forgotten, is December 15th. And during that 3-day period, that where JUCO kids and others can sign. So, Brent, Dave, I think that's got as much to do with it as anything else. And I think the other part of it is, and they will never admit this, I think these schools just frankly do not want a coaching search. Between the buyout and the in having to do so, I think that has as much to do with it as anything else too.
Okay, that's fine. At Ole Miss, at Vanderbilt, at South Carolina, you don't make a change. That's fine. You better win next year, and you better draw, and you're doing it next year.
Yes, precisely, Brad. And by doing so, you could also make the argument of, well, are you just accepting mediocrity? And that's as well as you can do.
Yeah, and you just retweeted from our buddy Mike Gillespie, TV guy in Columbia. You just retweeted the largest current SEC coaching buyout.
Yes.
I want people to really take this in, and we throw money around, like it's monopoly money. Jimbo Fisher, $60 million.
That's his buyout?
That's his buyout. Nick Saban, $34 million. Gus Malzahn, $27 million. Kirby Smart, $24 million. I'm rounding down. There's some points in here, too, that would add up to real money for most normal folks like us. Mark Stoops, $22 million. Will Muschamp. If you can't win at Florida, how you going to win at South Carolina? His buyout standing at $19.4 million.
Well, that's part of the reason why they're keeping him.
That's right.
Even if you're awash in money, $19.5 million is a lot of moolah. That is
Hootie
incredible.
Johnson can't come up with that kind of cash.
That's
and listen, that too. My understanding is that's what it is this year, and after next year, it doesn't come down much more than that.
Wow.
Or they. Look, I like Will in a lot of ways.
I do too.
And Will's a decent football coach, but at some point, if you're South Carolina, do you realize? And look, they're 1-4 after beating Georgia. That at some point you just say, we can't. Can we not do better than this?
It was the flukiest win of the year. Let's be honest.
It was.
Georgia beat them
It
the
was.
other 9 times they played that
it was fluky. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I want to go back to this buyout of Gus Malzahn's $27 million. Now that's if
Jimmy Rain's got to make it rain.
If Auburn wanted Gus Malzahn to go, it would cost $27 million.
He could negotiate.
But
down.
what would it cost for him to leave? That is a different story. For instance, I don't know if Memphis, let's just say, wanted to fire Mike Norvell for whatever reason. I don't know what his payout would be in their guaranteed contract structure, but I know that if he wants to go to wherever he might want to go, his buyout is $500,000. The critical mass for Arkansas in this negotiation is what does it cost for them to snag Malzahn away from Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I'll say this, even if, regardless of what other party is involved with this, $27 million is a lot of money, but at Auburn, they're ready to spend it. I can assure you that.
Are they? And next year, when he loses all that offensive line, a lot of that defense and defensive line, he's going to be right back in this same pickle next year, Brent.
Yep, he is. There's no question. And listen, here's the reality for Auburn that people may not realize. Malzahn gets lauded and applauded, but the problem is he has averaged five losses a year for the last 5 years. It does take long to do the math with that one. And if Alabama beats them, that will be 4 before the bowl game. So look, have they lost to some very good teams? Yes, there's no question about that. But the reality of it is that what Auburn fans have had enough of is an offense that's going nowhere, no development in a quarterback, poor recruiting on the offensive line, in losing 4 or 5 games a year.
Here's what gets him: 2-4 against Bama, 2-6 against Georgia, 2-5 against LSU, 3-4 in bowl games, 2-3 in bowl games versus major conference teams, 0-10 when he plays in one of these 3 towns: Baton Rouge, Athens, and Tuscaloosa. 31-23 versus SEC, 13-13 versus SEC opponents on the road. And for somebody texts me that he won with Cam in Tuscaloosa, he was the assistant coach that day.
Yeah. And my question to you guys is, if you're Arkansas, now look, after having the year they did, I can see where 7-5 would be improvement, but the reality is, if that's your main target, can you not do better?
In my mind, Mike Leach is better.
Yes.
But I think that's the guy they want. I think they want Malzahn.
I don't think they're going to have fan contentment. They finally have their Malzahn years. He's been conspiring to get it since he undercut Houston Nutt as offensive coordinator in 2006.
Sure.
But he's turned it down every time it's been offered.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, if you're with good folks in Arkansas, at some point now, we've also heard, and you guys are close, and you may have heard something different, but through some media friends, I've also heard from some that they've talked to some Arkansas beat writers who are saying the Malzahn ship may have sailed.
That's what I get. I get that Hunter Yurchek is not that big on it.
Right.
What about Gus to Florida State?
If they want to, I think in some ways it would be. I mean, would he have more talent at Florida State? Yes, but would he have more? Would he have different results? I'm not sure that he would. Frankly, That's hard to say. Now I talked to some folks close to the Florida State program a few days ago. They want, and again, the Stoops rumors won't die. I'll just leave that one there, Bob Stoops, and that they like all the hot young coaches too. Mike Norvell. They like Matt Campbell at Iowa State, who's done an incredible job there. So, I mean, are they going to get one of those guys? I don't know. But I still say for Florida State, if they went out and got them help me on this, Dave, if they got a Bill Clark from UAB, someone who has proven to be a tremendous football coach, to come in there and to settle that program down and be there for 10 years, I think that would be a tremendous hire for them. And the problem is, and I know he's made a commitment somewhat to UAB, but you can't tell me if Florida State came knocking on the door that they probably couldn't edge him out of there.
I would think he would leave Birmingham for that. I do.
Yes.
I don't believe he's making more than, what, $1.5 million at UAB?
Probably something
which
like that.
is a big stretch for that school financially anyway.
Yep, it is.
And
There's no question.
they felt like they owed him because, you know, they folded football on him and then they brought it back, and he's done a marvelous job in that regard. Sometimes, though, you do make roots in the community, and you might be assured of having this job for the next 15 years at $1.5 million, and that's pretty good cash in Birmingham, Alabama. So I really don't know. You know, Mike Norvell, and I'm not naive enough to think that if a Florida State or a USC or an Oklahoma, if Lincoln Riley went to the NFL, that he would, because he likes Memphis so much, stay. I do believe he likes Memphis a lot. I do believe he could live here the rest of his life. But I do think at 37 or 38 years old, whatever he is right now, he has the motivation and the drive to be a national champion.
Like Chris Peterson, if he leaves somewhere that he can win a national championship.
Always told me, and I go away every summer with him for a few days on a golf trip. He's always told me the only way he really would want to leave would be to go to a place where he could win a national title.
And you're not winning one at Arkansas.
And that's I was going there. I don't think Arkansas is a bad job, so I don't want anybody in
great job, great place to live.
Across the river to hate me. But
they already do.
They may. But if you are in a league with Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and A&M, and A&M is significant,
right?
Because their pitch used to be, if you want to play Texas high school player in the SEC, we're close. Your folks can come.
Right.
You know, we're used to your kind of football. Well, A&M is a better choice for that player now than Arkansas is. So there's 4 teams that are going to beat you out to the guys that you want every year. And then there's Ole Miss and Mississippi State. There's no chopped liver in the league. You can't win.
You can't. And the high school football produces about 4 or 5 a year. They don't keep all those. You got Missouri now on the north flank, A&M south flank. In Memphis, they were making decent inroads in Memphis, and we know why. Largely Coach Ingram and Sean Tuohy Jr. really wasn't Chad Morris. Now that's kind of been eroded to State, Ole Miss, and others. Anything, and it's like most everybody else in the SEC West. If you get anything out of Louisiana, it's leftovers. Now sometimes those leftovers turn into a great player like Dak Prescott.
Well, but let's look at it like this. We know pretty well where the ceiling is, and we basically know where the basement is, okay? But for your Arkansas of the world, Vandy's too, for that matter, if you could do what Kentucky has done with Rich Brooks and now with Mark Stoops, where you are, what, guys, 6-6, 7-5, and can throw a
10-3 last year.
Throw a 9-3 up there with what, 16 fifth-year senior type thing.
You better sign up for that.
There's nothing wrong with that either, is it?
And that applies at Ole Miss and at Mississippi State, at South Carolina.
Well, what does Mark Stoops make? $3.5-4 million, isn't it?
I'm not
at
certain.
this point, he probably does.
I think he does.
Got to be the going rate.
I think he does, and if he wins 7 to 9 games, he's a hero.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Listen, they'll build a statue of him. I go back to Rich Brooks, and what people didn't realize at that point that he got them an X number of bowls in a row, which frankly was tremendous. And I'll tell you this to Dave and Brad, there are a lot of Florida State people who say, look, we don't want Bob because we'd almost rather have Mark because we think Mark would come here and stay 10 years.
And hungrier. He hadn't been to the mountaintop yet.
Right.
I think you got to be careful at some of these lesser jobs of hiring somebody that's been to the mountaintop in another job. I just don't know if they're as hungry. This time next year, this will be a popular question, so I'm going to break it out a year early. I don't know what my 1 to 100 would be, but 100, he's going to announce his retirement, and 1 being the other end of it, no chance for this year. At the end of this year, Coach Nick Saban steps away. 1 to 100, give me your percentile.
No, he's coming back.
Give me a percentile. Give me a number.
At only 60, you said 100 was.
He's gone.
The parameters again.
Yeah, 100, he's gone. 1, no chance.
I would say probably maybe 10, something like that.
I would say 20.
20?
I don't think he wants to leave with this bad taste in his mouth.
No.
I'm going to say 30. I'm going to go high. But he's not going. But he's not going.
Thing, look, they don't. I'm being realistic here. They don't have the defense to do it. But if they beat Auburn and they get a little bit of help, I mean, they could be back in there again. Look, if he's 11-1 with this team and this defense that struggled, to me that would be absolutely amazing.
He's not going to get any Coach of the Year awards, but it's a good job.
And he's not going to get.
I'm with Dave. He's just not going to leave after a year like this. And I think this year's taken some toll on him. And I think he may have aged a few more years than just 1, since he had his birthday on Halloween. But I still think he's there a few more several more years at least before that happens. I mean, is he in the beginning? No. He's in the middle? No. But I still think he'll be there 3 to 5 more years.
And next year he'll turn 69 in season, and that was the age of the Bear. In his last year, turned 69 in September, and then died in late January.
I thought Bear was in his 70s.
Nope.
Really?
Brett, I'm glad you said that. People really don't realize how young Coach Bryant was when he died.
He was. He just had a lot of miles on the tires.
Well, he looked older than
he did.
He did. Now, obviously, the life he led earlier led to that. But Saban at 69. Listen, guys,
is a lot healthier than Bear was.
Flat when I'm 69, don't you?
Yeah, and you got to remember when Bear growing up in Morro Bottom, he was a long way from electricity.
Nick Saban is
running water.
Nick Saban is still playing pickup basketball games.
That's right.
Running the league.
Absolutely.
Bear Bryant hadn't played pickup basketball in 25 years.
No, Dave, you probably remember your first year in this market. He was loyal to this golf tournament. Loved Danny Thomas. They had a lot of mutual friends in South Florida. He would come in every year.
He was good to Memphis, period.
He loved Memphis.
And Bud Dudley in the Liberty Bowl.
And touchdown. I mean, he loved Memphis. One of his great players, Mike Frocchia, was from here early on. But he would come here in 80, 81, and at the Pro-Am, he'd play about 2 or 3 holes and pick up and go in. I mean, that was all he could do.
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah. He also loved to recruit Memphis, too.
Yeah. He sure did. He did.
He had some people helping him in that regard.
He had a lot of help with Logan Young.
He sure did.
But we're not going to mention any names. I love Logan, though.
And I'll make this real brief, but I can tell you, guy, that you keep your eye on. I bet Dave knows him. Is Neil Brown, who went from Troy to West Virginia.
Yeah.
They made some noise at the end of the year. I think that guy is just a phenomenal coach from who I've talked to, and I think sooner than later he turns West Virginia around, and he may be the top-notch hot guy that we're really talking about in 2, 3, 4 years.
Well, here's what I want you to do for the rest of this football season, please. And you're a man, Brent Beard, that's in a position to do this because you're so well known and so powerful throughout the Southeast. You got to tell people you got to tell all these people about Brown and about Clark and about Campbell. And just don't ever mention Mike Norvell.
Keep Norvell out of your mouth.
Please keep Norvell out of it.
I'll do that. But listen, the point with this is people need to pay attention to some of these guys and the non-Power 5 conferences and how good, I don't have to tell you guys this, but how good they are. And I'll tell you this right now, when South Carolina makes a change, as deficient as they've been on offense, my first call would be to UCF.
To Heupel. Yeah.
Yes.
That's another good call.
Good stuff, Brent.
That's another good call. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. We'll do it again next week.
Can't wait. Take care, guys.
All right.
You got it.
Brent Beard down in Jacksonville.
I tell you, the good coach is the guy at Arkansas State, but I don't know after having just lost his wife, if he would want to leave there. I think that'd be hard, but he might want a fresh start somewhere. But he's done them a good job year over year.
Memphis opens with them next year.
They sure do. And I told you, look out for Lane Hatcher at quarterback for Arkansas State. Williams Equipment Supply, they're your homegrown, locally owned, and number one in compact construction equipment company. They've represented the Bobcat Company for 50 years. Bobcat is the industry leader in compact loaders and excavators. Support American manufacturing, buy, lease, or rent Bobcat Equipment. Williams Equipment and Supply is the largest compact equipment dealer in the Mid-South with 9 great locations. They've got the largest inventory of equipment, attachments, and parts, and the largest compact rental fleet and the best technicians in the most locations. Whether you do plumbing, utilities, swimming pools, concrete breaking, or foundations, let Williams Equipment and Supply help you out with the right Bobcat excavator for you. With Williams Equipment's leading technology and backed up by their great staff of parts and service techs, contractors get their work done efficiently and, most importantly, profitably. For a demonstration or more details, call Cody Bumpus, your North Mississippi Bobcat specialist, at 901-508-8739. In Memphis, call Sam Watson. Sam sells 901-326-6429. Williams Equipment and Supply, the largest compact equipment dealer in the Mid-South with 9 locations.
Our Jeff Moore is going to join us in a minute. National Football League on the docket next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need. From simple repairs to complete overhauls, they have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes, they can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book, and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brad Norsworthy.
My world was strapped against my back. I held my head.
Cruising through our Tuesday edition of the show. Always at the halfway point, we bring in the big gun. And that is Jeff Moore, former Vol, former L.A. Ram in the Rams and the Bears. That was just disaster. I didn't want to really start with that. But that's a team that's just so bad. Chicago, it's unbelievable. Seriously, as we look, that's a team that's got to be the most disappointing team. Here's Matt Nagy. He's the reigning, defending Coach of the Year, and he's been figured out. And we know now that it was a major error to move up to get Mitch Trubisky when you could have gotten Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. I mean, just awful stuff. And I think the Bears are absolutely done now.
Well, hindsight is 20/20. And, going into the draft, a lot of guys, you just don't know when a young player, which players are going to have the it factor. And certainly Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes are exceptions. But Mitch Trubisky looked good. I mean, he was a logical pick for a lot of teams. And unfortunately, he just has not been able to make the transition. And that happens a lot in the league. I mean, you see that happen a lot. It's unfortunate because this defense is still a stellar defense, I think. And unfortunately, even though they're holding teams as much as they can, you can just see where at some point the defense just starts to get frustrated and start to give up plays because their offense isn't giving them any help. No. And you got to rest those guys. You need to get some first downs so they can, catch a breath on the sidelines and get ready. And it's unfortunate, but it happens. And it happens with a lot of teams.
I guess if we're looking just at disappointments, and we'll get to the positive stories, you're Kansas City Chiefs, so I know you have a lot of hope for. They're still within striking distance. This is not the same team that they were. Even in the game last night with the Chargers, the Chiefs, and I'm not going to put down Patrick Mahomes, but he doesn't have quite that spark he had earlier in the year. I don't know if he's maybe a little injured still or what it may be, but their defense is a little bit better than last year, but certainly not at the point where you go really good, and their offense can't make up for it anymore.
Yeah, what I'm observing, well, of course, Patrick Mahomes is still kind of getting in the rhythm from his injury. That takes a few games. And you see him overthrowing some open receivers or missing some throws that maybe he made last year. But he's still, an incredible talent. And he made some great throws, running to his left and throwing. That just shows that he's still vintage Patrick Mahomes. They don't have much punch in their running game like they did a year or so ago. They were much more balanced. And so teams are seeing that and seeing that they don't have to defend the run as much. They can put more guys in pass coverage, and that's a challenge for them. And I think their defense is not playing as well as they played last year, and so that's a challenge for them as well. But fortunately, they're still leading their division. We don't know the Raiders are a good story. We don't know if they're going to be able to sustain it through the end of the season, but right now, Kansas City is in a pretty good shape.
And that would be the 3 seed today over the North Division winner, Indianapolis. You picked Kansas City in the preseason to be in the Super Bowl. It's a good pick. Do you think they will win the West over Oakland?
I think they can win the West. I think they can win the West just based on the weapons that they have, offensively. And the fact that, I think the Raiders are balanced in terms of the way that they're running the ball very well. and they're getting some good play from their quarterback. But they're winning some close games, and we'll just have to see if they continue to improve. I'm delighted to see the Raiders being relevant. That's a great story for the league because we hadn't seen that in a while. But we'll just have to see how it goes down the stretch. I think the Chiefs still have a good chance, but it's going to be interesting.
I think it'll catch up with Oakland because their defense isn't that good. They've given up 25 more points so far than they've scored, and so they're a minus 25 differential, and they're still 2 games over 500. That catches up with you in the long run. If we're looking for a really positive story, it's obviously the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, and look what they did to Houston this week. That was really a one-sided game. Jackson's making a case to be the MVP. Is that the biggest positive surprise, or is that the Niners? But it could be one of those.
It's the biggest surprise for me because I just didn't see this coming. What I'm loving about Lamar is his passing acumen has just increased substantially, and he talks about how frustrated he was in the playoff game when they lost last year, and he looked at that film over and over again and just said, never again is going to play that way. And I think they've coached him up, but you see him giving himself time and looking to throw the ball down the field. And when he runs, he's not always running by design. He's running because the play is broken down, but he has become a much more skilled pocket passer, and that's dangerous for the league to see a guy with that kind of skill set be able to be effective throwing the ball.
He's working that tight end with Mark Andrews. He's working out of the backfield with Mark Ingram, and he just drops a couple of passes in there and backs those defensive backs up a little bit, then he's off to the races.
He is. And Mark Ingram is playing fantastic. I mean, this guy's running great. He's catching the ball out of the backfield, but I love the way he's running between the tackles. He's like he's had new life since going to Baltimore and gotten just a new lease after leaving the Saints. So, I mean, and then their defense has been stellar so far this year. That's another big surprise. And Baltimore's always had respectable defenses, but this defense is playing with a lot of confidence. Part of that is because their offense is controlling the ball and giving those guys rest and allowing them to be able to, when they're coming out there, they're fresh and they're running and making things happen.
And the Ravens have the lovable, approachable Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah.
And you really could see the contrast. I was at that Super Bowl where they were both there, and the difference. And you see it a lot of time in brothers. You see it sometimes in identical twins. Yeah. They're not that, but John Harbaugh are a lot more loose than Jim.
Oh, he is. He is a great coach.
That's not hard, though.
No. But great surprise when you look at his background. You know, Jim having played quarterback, been in the league and so forth. Jim and John basically was special teams coach. Somebody just saw something in him and elevated him, and here he is having great success as a head coach. You don't see that often.
Play for Ditka and Bo. You've been on the receiving end of getting chewed out.
Oh, no question. No question about it.
Yeah. All right, so 2 stories of controversy this week in the NFL. If you're the commissioner, what would you do about Myles Garrett? Is this season enough, or would you say a year and a half?
Boy, that's tough. I think this season would probably be enough because this guy doesn't have a record of that kind of insanity, although he has been leading the league in a lot of penalties that have to do with late hits and so forth. But, you know, I think once this season is over, you know, people will put that behind him. I think that's enough punishment for him to really realize that he just lost it in that moment. And I think a lot of that was the fact that, of course, you know, he was trying to grab his helmet and pull his helmet off.
Yeah, he says he was provoked.
Yeah, he was. And there's no question, there was some provocation, but it still doesn't justify that. You could, you know, you're looking at a quarterback that you could thump him and you know.
What if he'd have killed him?
Yeah, I mean, he could have hurt him seriously.
Then there'd be criminal and he'd be up for attempted murder or something of that nature. And okay, so you can use the saying of provocation. I was provoked. That was because he was trying to take your helmet off. Okay, but he wasn't going to hit you with the helmet.
Yeah, and he also said there was some give and take at the bottom of the pile discussion-wise.
Yeah, you know. Well, you know, his tackle on Mason Rudolph was a little bit gruff for at the end of a game. The game's over. I mean, you're
just
grinding
heard
them
it.
down.
I thought the game was over, and I wake up to this firestorm Friday morning.
Yeah, you grind the guy down like that. I mean, that was just over the top a little bit, and Mason Rudolph didn't like it, and that kind of led to it.
The other controversy is welcome back to the fray, Colin Kaepernick, who was going to get this series of tryouts. The NFL was going to hold it. First, they said it would be open to the media, and here's the media that would get to see it. Then they went, no, we're not going to open this to the media, but we're still going to have it for you. There is obviously mistrust between Kaepernick and the NFL, so he takes care of his own path, and he lets everybody know, no, I'm changing this so you can come, media. I do want this to be seen. I think he's saying out loud, I don't trust the NFL. I want people to see, because they're not really going to hire me anyway. I want them to see what I really got. I personally can see why Colin Kaepernick did what he did. I know it's ended any chance that he might have had of really getting back in the NFL, but did he really have a chance of getting back in the NFL? I doubt that, and I think Kaepernick knew it.
I respectfully disagree, and I just primarily from this vantage point, the NFL didn't have to call Colin Kaepernick. They didn't owe him anything. They've paid him in and off,
Right.
the settlement of their suit. He is going to be an obvious distraction to any locker room, and he's a backup at best. So, for a team to even consider bringing him in, I think there's been, and I go back to the Jay-Z relationship and guys that are kind of in the room with the NFL now, trying to do the best thing, put the best face on this, that finally convinced them, listen, let's give him an opportunity to see what he can do and see if there's a team that's willing to bring him in, and this is the forum which we can do it in. And no individual team wanted to do it because that makes that team kind of stand out. And so I understood that. I have no I can't justify anything Colin did in moving it and bringing all these people there.
He almost wouldn't take yes for an answer.
And he had press there, but he didn't take questions. And then he gives this speech afterwards, this talking about Roger Goodell and I mean, it was just so over the. If he didn't trust him, he didn't have to go.
Well, I think he was on his way to going until they said we're not going to let the media in on this. Then they're going to distribute this workout, which could be edited.
They wanted him to sign he wouldn't sue him if he didn't get a job.
That's right. I think he didn't think he was really getting a shot. And this last thing enters my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I think Colin Kaepernick is a pretty smart guy. And he didn't think he was really ever going to get a fair shot to get back on the playing field. And you know what? He got that settlement, and he got this Nike deal. He can make more money as a martyr than he can as a football player.
And he very much
that's what he just played out.
Jeff, do you think which one of these two you think was the bigger impediment for him? The distraction he would be being the backup quarterback, or for some owner, he potentially could be really bad for business. Which one's the biggest?
I think being bad for business. I mean, when all is said and done, I mean, do you want a guy in your locker room that could potentially be divisive with your team, going to most definitely be divisive with your fans, even if it's 15% of the fans that don't support him and the stance that he took? And then, is he going to continue to try to protest in that manner or not? And to me, the NFL, with what they're trying to do with Jay-Z, is being more productive with what they're doing going forward than what they were doing with it. His protest was a good foundation to get something started. And the NFL is putting real money into communities and trying to make a difference as a result of what he started. There's no question about that. But I just think that his role as a player would just be too destructive from the standpoint of fans and players, and that's unfortunate. But hopefully, everybody can move on. I didn't like the way it went down. I was optimistic that it would give him an opportunity to possibly play because I feel like talent-wise, he's better than half the backups in the league.
He's better than Trubisky. He's a starter.
But that's not the issue. The issue is, do you want to divide your fan base in your locker room?
Last thing for Jeff Moore, speaking of quarterbacks, Tom Brady, who's frustrated with his offense. They've only scored 287 points so far this year.
And they lost one game.
And they're 9-1, right, 10 games.
He's mad.
What do you think that is all about? Is he mad that his buddy Julian Edelman got to throw a touchdown pass? I mean, what was he so frustrated about?
First time in an NFL game for Tom Brady that somebody else on the team in a game that he played in had more touchdown passes than him.
I don't get it because they still scored points. What do you think is eating away at Tom Brady?
He misses Gronk.
I think Tom will compartmentalize this and move on. It was just conversation for a week. He's expressed just about every week that he's disappointed in the fact that they've not been more productive in their offense, but they're just not as good as they used to be. I mean, and I think the fact that Gronk is not there is part of that. Teams have kind of figured out how to play him in terms of getting pressure on him early, making him get rid of the ball sooner. But, it's fortunately for them, their defense is just playing lights out and nobody can score.
Their offense is the third highest scoring offense in the National Football League. Only San Francisco and I can't remember who else has scored more points.
Than the Patriots?
Than the Patriots. The third highest scoring offense, and he's complaining that we're young, we don't know each other very well.
He may need it for his motivation.
Maybe.
I'm telling you, if for no other reason, there are a lot of reasons too, but on Monday night when we carry Monday Night Football on Westwood 1, at halftime when Jim Gray, and he interviews Tom Brady, if it's not live, it's about a 5-minute delay.
Yeah,
it's close to live.
It is.
It is good stuff on Monday night. If tune in at halftime, Jim Gray gets stuff out of him. Now, they get along well. But Jim Gray goes in sometimes.
Oh, he does. Baltimore and San Francisco are the only offenses that have scored more than the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a surprising statistic because they don't look like they're scoring a lot of points. They did early in the season.
He had to get a Garoppolo reference in, Jeff.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is.
Jeff Moore, as always, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Tennessee. You want to see him play at the AutoZone Libertyville?
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Wouldn't that be something?
Keep it up.
It'd be a lot of orange there.
I don't know if the SEC is going to get enough teams up to do that.
I think they need 10 eligible, and right now it looks like it's going to be 9.
Yeah, I don't quite see it. But always a pleasure.
Thank you, Jeff.
to see you. We'll do this again next week. We've got to take a break. Our title sponsor for this hour of the program is Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. I'm going to try a week after Thanksgiving to go see Chris True just to see what he's got cooking up. I know now when they answer the phone, they will say it's Homer Skelton Hyundai and Homer Skelton Genesis. And that's because this is one of those dealerships. Not every one of the Hyundai dealerships around America gets to sell Genesis cars, only the best ones. And they're making a big emphasis at Homer Skelton Hyundai to become Homer Skelton Genesis because they're enlarging the dealership and more product is coming in, and the product's so good. Whether it's a Genesis or whether it's a Hyundai, it's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. This technology lasts forever. That's why you get that guarantee. And then you take in the service that you get, including shopper assurance. Check with Chris True what that's all about. I mean, this is the perfect marriage of technology and service. Just get on Lamar. It's 78 when you get into Mississippi, and the very first exit, it's close. Craft Road, turn left, and you're there. You're at the place that car business is done the right way. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis in Olive Branch. Back in a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
When you're in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandising at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find them among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way, and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Women's Sherpa jackets by Simply Southern starting just $29.99. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots, work, dress, or play. Come try on the latest boot trends as well as proven classics, Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park. Hey, you guys, the Liquor, Wine, and Beer Oasis awaits you at the Spirit Shop with a special invite for Thursday, November the 21st. Join the live remote 3 to 6 p. with Wolo and Stats. Take advantage of holiday pre-Christmas deals on your favorite liquor or wine. Stock up. We're giving away 2 pairs of VIP tickets to the U of M and Ole Miss game, 2 $25 gift cards for Neil's Bar and Grill, and Wedgwood Golf Course, 4 rounds and 2 golf carts. See you at the Spirit Shop, 4848 Poplar, the Little Log Cabin Liquor, Wine, and Beer Oasis.
One thing I really admire about Central Barbecue is their commitment to quality.
Then why do they let you do their commercials?
I'm talking about their food. Everything is prepared with devotion to taking the time and effort to create perfect barbecue.
Oh, I know. That's exactly why I was wondering why...
They're not kidding with that slow-smoked Memphis-style slogan. They smoke their pork for 14 hours. Do they have to? They do if they want to be the best barbecue in Memphis, and they are.
And yet they let you just throw together...
There's nothing better than Central Barbecue because they care.
Except apparently about their radio ads.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Oh, welcome back in. All right, we want to give away
Gave one away yesterday, one more today.
That is the LSU Media Guide from this year.
Joe Burrow on the cover, may win a national championship. Joe Burrow is going to win a Heisman Trophy. A lot of great quarterbacks at LSU. Burt Jones, Y.A. Tittle, others.
Y.A. Tittle, and that is...
David Woodley. Rohan Davey was a great quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Jamarcus Russell was a great college quarterback.
He was a great college quarterback. I thought he
Y.A.
was going to be better. Y.A. Tittle.
To an LSU fan, what does the Y and the A stand for? 360-8255.
Not easy.
That's the First Bank phone
No,
line.
you got to be a fan to know this one.
All on the phones. 360-8255. What does the Y and the A of Y.A. Tittle stand for?
I can think of 2 things with Y.A. Tittle. Blood running down his face when he played the San Francisco 49ers, and I think it was in a championship game. And then 1963, Benny McRae. Interception in the end zone. Bears win. Bears win the NFL championship over Y.A. Tittle.
You were
Benny
10.
McRae picked them off. I was 10. I was not allowed to go to the game.
It was that cold, huh?
Because it was like 20 below without a wind chill. Who knows what it was. People used to bring those portable heaters. The first time I ever saw those at games.
Yeah, and you totally think more of Y.A. Tittle as a pro quarterback than his LSU years because it was so long ago for us.
Right. Well, I didn't really ever know him as a.
I think of
LSU
Burt Jones
quarterback.
more at
I do
LSU
too.
than I do.
I do too.
And
he was a great college quarterback,
and he was on.
He was
his
a great
way to
pro
being
quarterback.
A great pro until he got hurt.
Yeah, he
360-8255. What does the Y and the A for Y.A. Tittle stand
Roger,
for? Hey, Roger.
on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255. Are you an LSU fan?
Die hard. Go
Great.
Tigers.
You know
okay. You even got
I
the
hear it in
accent.
your
We
voice.
love that. So, what does the Y and the A in Tittle stand for?
Yelverton Abraham.
That's
You
a
got
winner.
it. You
For
got
extra
it.
credit, you've won. For extra credit, his hometown.
Ooh.
It's not Louisiana either.
Oh, it's not?
Nope.
It was Texas, wasn't it?
It was. Drove through it coming back
Wow,
from College
you're good.
Station in 2014. You're real good, Roger. Drove through it coming back and texted a buddy. I'm driving through the hometown of the Bald Eagle, Yelverton Abraham. It was. Come on, you're close, Roger. East Texas.
East Texas.
Cotton Country.
I was going to say Houston, but that's not right.
No, Marshall, Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't remember that.
You're a winner, though, Roger. I'm going to put you on a whole deal with Drew. He's easy to deal with, too.
Congratulations.
He's a great guy. Congratulations, Roger.
He got that. I bet you Anders behind him knew it, too.
Bet he did, too.
Well, you only got one more, so
I'm sorry,
that's
Anders.
the way
I
it
brought
goes.
back
Anders,
two, gave one away yesterday.
Anders, who knows? Keep listening. There could be something right around the corner for you. If you're a parent, maybe you're a young guy, you're looking for a sport. You want a sport to get you in shape. You want a sport that keeps you in shape, maybe between seasons, especially if you're a football player. How about wrestling? It's a good sport, develops integrity, discipline, a strong work ethic, and that fitness level I'm talking about, it will last a lifetime. Best way to learn this craft is at Elite Wrestling Academy on Highway 64 in Bartlett. It's right in that Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu complex, which is a big complex, and it is serious. At Elite Wrestling Academy, you got the top coaches of the game in Memphis. It's led by Chris Douglas and Jeremy Doty. The ratio is never more than 4 wrestlers to 1 coach. And they're serious, as I mentioned. They've got 3 All-Americans, 3 state champs, 3 wrestlers, even on the national team. And it's a youth wrestling program for kids, grades 1 through 8. It's a feeder program for all the Memphis high school wrestling programs. If you're interested, you're invited to stop by again in Bartlett at Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. See the place. You get a free week just to see if you and your child really like the discipline and the strength it takes. They boys will practice 5:30 to 7:30 Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Look, presidents, CEOs, NFL players, they all love wrestling. Come see why at Elite Wrestling Academy. Back in a minute. We're number 3, right around the corner. Beau Marchant from collegetopro.com. He's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
For the best lineup of quality, fuel-efficient, and fun-to-drive vehicles, get to Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan. Over 1,000 new certified and pre-owned vehicles in one great location. Catch the savings now during our huge model year-end sales event. Score an amazing deal at Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan and get to the game in style at Germantown Road and Highway 64. Family owned since 1981.
It's car buying time now during Wolf Chase Nissan's Summer Savings Event. More cars, better offers, and bigger savings than ever before. Model year-end savings on every new 2019 Nissan in stock. Financing as low as 0% up to 60 months on select models for qualified buyers with approved credit through NMAC. Hurry in for exciting summer savings. And remember, if your car says Wolf Chase Nissan, you got the best deal. WolfChaseNissan.com.
Heater trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning and heating specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their special winter price for a heater tune-up is just $59, and 24-hour service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
Your nationally ranked Memphis Tigers football team is back home on the Friday after Thanksgiving against rivals Cincinnati. This is our city, our team, and our stadium. We showed the world what Memphis can do when we all stand together. And now it is time to do it again. Tickets start at just $20 and are available now at GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. It is Memphis Tigers football versus Cincinnati on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Sponsored by Sedgwick.
Hi friends, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Jewelers, and this will be my 52nd Christmas offering the finest gifts of jewelry you can find anywhere in Memphis. Whether she's given you hints about what would make her happy, or whether you're going to surprise her this year, let me invite you to join the thousands of Memphis men who have been putting beautiful gifts from Russell Brothers Jewelers under the tree for decades. Come see our wonderful selection of the finest gemstones, diamonds, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and all the rest. Put them in rings, pendants, bracelets, and earrings. Let your imagination go and think inside that box, the Russell Brothers box. Like I said, we have a huge selection, but if you don't see what you're looking for, we specialize in custom design just for her. At Russell Brothers Jewelers, we take great pride in offering the very best to our customers, the very best in beauty, the very best in quality and value and service. Come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers and let us help you be the very best Santa you can be. Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
We talk National Football League with Bo Marchant. That's coming up next after I tell you about the title sponsor this hour. We so appreciate them at DeSoto Auto Sales. They specialize in late model cars with low mileage, very high standards, the highest standards in the car industry. Down on Goodman Road in DeSoto County. Come on down for that town and country experience to DeSoto Auto Sales, and you can check them out online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. They'll make you this guarantee. They know we're living in a world today that time matters, and they want you to have the ultimate car experience. What is that? Your time. They want you to walk in, test drive your car, credit approved, paperwork done. You're gone in about 45 minutes. They know we're living in a world today that time matters, and they'll have you in and out. It's that simple. Visit them online to check out the referrals again at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Kind, courteous employees, laid back, down home atmosphere, no high pressure sales at 5704 Goodman Road. Call them at 662-890-7184. DeSoto Auto Sales, town and country experience in DeSoto County. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road.
We always talk with Bo Marchant in this time slot about the Shield, and Bo joins us now, and we've already sort of had this discussion, but when we take a look at the Colin Kaepernick situation and the NFL, we could probably say good guy, bad guy for both these sides. What's your take of what occurred with this crazy tryout stuff?
You got it exactly right. A crazy tryout stuff is probably you could title the newspaper with. I think you could smell sham just with, any other prospect, and we know he's Colin Kaepernick, but absent of that, any other prospect that's going to have a workout, there's not kind of this hype around it. And I know there's so much, so we're going to treat this case different than others, but it just had a bad vibe, and the NFL. They weren't sending their elite scouts. It was scheduled for a Saturday. They were sending, not the top-notch eyes that you want there. So I think that was a signal maybe to Kaepernick as well and his group that, the NFL may not be interested. And I think it was their gesture saying, hey, we're reaching our hand out to you in good faith, but not really. We're just trying to make amends. We don't want you back, but we're going to act like we gave you a shot. And, hopefully this will be the end of it, and we'll move on. That's what I took from it.
Sure,
but
that's accurate, Bo. And I know for a fact they didn't send the A team to scout him because most of the A-team scouts, in fact, Saturday in Oxford, there were 17 NFL scouts credentialed, and most all of them had been to Starkville earlier that day because they got to see Tua in Starkville at 11, and they got to see Joe Burrow at 6 o'clock in Oxford. The A-teamers, and I saw them there, and Bo, you know all the names. A lot of our listeners would as well. The A-team was in Starkville and Oxford Saturday, not watching Cap.
Definitely, and I was in Michigan for Michigan State. There were 8 teams credentialed there, watching Big Ten football. So and I know some of the scouts there. And again, you know these guys. These are the guys that are going to make important decisions, or at least create important information when these draft boards start going up. It's one of these things when this Colin Kaepernick thing unfolded, we talked about it every week. And at that point, he was still. It wasn't even if he should be on a team. If it was more or less, could he be a starting quarterback? Because he already lost the resiliency to be a starter. He was a backup now, a backup making noise. And that made it even a little bit more difficult. And at the end of the day, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I mean, the NFL is a business, and any business where you're creating a controversy where you could hit the bottom line, I don't know any company that's going to want any employee on their payroll. And, I don't know if that's right. And I know this is a little different because, somebody's taking a stand for something. But again, I mean, I don't know what you guys could get away with in the studio, that what you could say on the air and how long that would be, before they're, hey, Dave and Brett, you guys got to calm down.
Well, during the last segment, Dave slapped me. And he got away with it.
I heard you deserved it, though. I heard you deserved it.
I did deserve it, but I did.
So it's one of those things. But
that's right.
If he plays, he plays. But I don't think
it goes back to that great scene when you tell me it's a business. When I say it's a business, you say it's a sport. When I say it's a sport, you say it's a business. All right, what happened to Tua was awful. Everybody saw it unfold. Then I saw Joe Burrow that night in person. And I already really, really liked, and I think I came away Saturday really, really loving. He's got a really quick release. I don't know that he's got the quintessential cannon, but he's got enough, and his accuracy is pinpoint.
Yeah. Again, what happened to Tua was just a devastating injury, and we just, I just hope he can get back to full strength and that doesn't derail him as a pro and just his everyday life. But I mean, from what we've heard, we don't know the severity, but they said everything was good and checked out. Going to affect him. I don't know. Every team's going to take a chance on somebody. We saw it with Willis McGahee with the torn ACL when the Bills took him. We saw the Rams take Todd Gurley at 10 coming off an ACL. So, will it affect him? It may affect him, but when we're talking, out of the first round or something, unless there's some sort of sense that teams think there's not a recovery point. But absent of that, I mean, you're still talking about a top 4, top 3, top 5 prospect.
You think so? So you most people thought he would have been number 1. I guess it depends on who gets that, eventually that pick. But you think he would only slip to 4 or 5? Really? I'm shocked because I would have thought he would be down to 14 or 15.
Yeah, well, you know what? In today's league, where we saw the Arizona Cardinals do it, when you can take Josh Rosen and then jettison him off to Miami 1 year later and take Kyler Murray, I think that just shows that teams are not afraid to pull the trigger, and I think that's what the Cardinals did with Murray. They're like, hey, this guy's a transcending player. He can be a franchise epically great player, and I think if any franchise that viewed that in Tua, now they're like, well, you know what? Instead of getting the number 1 now, we know he has the injury history, but we love this kid. We know, instead of having to maybe go the 1, we can get him at 4 or 3. We know draft night quarterbacks always sneak in more. Last year there were, when we were doing draft analysis outside of the draft prior to last year, you're looking at it and you're like, you might have one quarterback. It was Drew Lock. He was the only guy. And then draft night unfolds, and you're talking, well, how many are going to go tonight? 4, 5, or 6? I mean, and when you have a guy of his magnitude, again, unless there's some setback in his recovery that's very, very known, where it's going to be a 50-50. Absent of that, I'll say it now. I'll be shocked if he's not a top 5 pick next year.
Speaking of quarterbacks, what's the deal with Tom Brady? Why is he so grumpy?
he's been hanging around that guy who's coached him. I don't think that guy seems too pleasant. I mean, it's one of those. It's the Patriot way. You really don't want to act too satisfied, even when you win. It's their way to, winning is misery. I think in New England, I think that's the mantra that they kind of practice and preach.
No days
they
off.
Win. Yeah, but they win. I mean, he's frustrated. The offense hasn't looked good, but I mean, that's a little bit of a work in progress. Even Mohamed Sanu, I mean, he's a good receiver, but people think, oh, they got Mohamed Sanu, and they do magical things. But I mean, when they went and got Randy Moss, I mean, it's Randy Moss. They tried to get Antonio Brown. I mean, you're talking about elite, generational type talent.
Well, they tried Gordon.
And they tried, yeah. So I mean, when and he played well, but Gordon had one fantastic season in Cleveland. I mean, he was still great, and he still makes plays. But, I mean, it was kind of like that Braylon Edwards. Braylon Edwards had that same type of season in Cleveland, too, and he never was able to, duplicate it. And a little bit with the way with Josh, and then you take the off-field issues. When they acquired Sanu, I thought it was a good thing. And even when they brought in Brandon Cook from New Orleans, I mean, Cook was a 1,000-yard guy. He was a pretty potent receiver. Then he goes to Los Angeles and basically does the same thing. I don't really know if they got a guy that special as Sanu. I mean, I don't think Sanu brings out much more than what they already had in terms of Philip Dorsett and all the other guys that they have on that team. So, it's a team that, no Gronk, no Gordon. They're trying to do it with some different faces, and I mean, you refer to Gronk as the greatest tight end you ever seen. You don't have the greatest tight end you've ever seen on the field. That's a lot to think.
You lose something.
What?
And there's nothing there. You got Matt Lacrosse and Frank Izzo. You got these guys there trying to duplicate that position, and it maybe be different if you brought in a guy who's maybe has a little bit of a pulse, who's making production out of that spot. But right now, when you look at the Patriots' offense, you can basically eliminate the tight end from the offensive scheme in terms of what they've been known to do successfully for so many years.
Take a lot of the field away
Brady is gone.
What was the press conference Gronk was supposed to be having today? Some people thought
Gronk Beach.
What was that? A new business?
Yeah, I guess he's something. I just read it briefly because it's he said I'm not coming back to play, but he's open. I don't know
He
if it's
did.
down in
He
Florida.
left the door open that he could come back.
I don't think he can take
I'm not
another
coming
hit
back this year. He said I'm not coming back this year, but and then he said something. I'm here to talk about Gronk Beach. So
that's the oldest 29-year-old body ever. I mean, Jim Brown was the picture of health compared to Gronk at 29. I want to hopscotch back to the draft a little bit. So you were at the Michigan State game. I guarantee you, just with this question, someone's going to text you and, boy, you can't get over Shea Patterson. No, I'm asking, what'd you see Saturday? Did you see a guy that's going to get drafted in the NFL draft in Shea Patterson playing against Michigan State for Michigan?
I don't think so. I didn't see anything where you're like, wow, this and I've been to Michigan, since I think I saw Patterson at Penn State. So I think that's the third or fourth game where I've saw Shea play. And, I think you take a little bit away from a guy, you're just impressed. I can tell you like Bredesen and Runyon, that left side of their offensive line. I mean, you talk about two guys that are definitely going to, I'm not saying they're first round picks by any stretch, but they're definitely going to get drafted there. I mean, they're a feisty duo on that left end. But Pat, he just, there's just not a sense where you're like, wow, this kid's doing, all the right things mechanically out of the pocket. And, maybe I'm missing something, but, I usually like to think, when you see guys play, they have to make an impression. And, when I walk away from, seeing him play, I don't
He was horribly coached at Ole Miss, and I don't think it's been that much better at Michigan. I don't know that he's receptive to being coached, and I don't know who's going to break the news to his dad he's not getting drafted.
Yeah, and you got to remember,
here comes
quarterback
sure
wise,
now.
You're talking maybe 10 quarterbacks are going to get drafted, and you're going to have the core names, but then you're always going to have the a couple FCS kids that are going to pop onto the screen, and so you got to it's just the way it works. It's just a numbers game. You're going to take 7 guys from the Power 5 conferences. You're going to take 2 guys from this, and D1, and then 1 guy from the FCS, and then you're going to have your 9 or 10 quarterbacks drafted. And though he'll be a camp body, but when you think of collegiate sports and how many good quarterbacks there, then he's a good quarterback. I'm not shaming him for that. Not being able to get drafted, and he might get drafted. He could be the next Tom Brady. But at the end of the day, I think that game was his first 300-yard game. And he had a fabulous game. But at the end of the day, I mean, even, I was talking to somebody in the box. I'm like, well, that's hard to believe. They're like, well, the way they run their offense. I'm like, it's still Michigan. You still get on top of people. I mean, you still should be able to, push the pedal down and put up 300 yards. Not consistently, but maybe, not your first 300-yard game as a Wolverine. So I thought that was a little shocking. I would have said, I mean, if I said how many 300-yard passing games does Shea Patterson have at Michigan, you probably would have said at least 2. Yeah, 1, I don't think you said.
I'm curious, since you watch so much of the Big Ten, who's the best quarterback in the Big Ten? Justin Fields?
Right now, I mean, you have to say just the way he fits in with that system. And Dwayne Haskins was fantastic, with what he did. But I think with the head coach there and Ryan, I just think Ryan Day and the way him and Justin Fields, I just think there's a connection there where they kind of feed off each other. There's a good vibe. So with the results and just the way he's playing, I don't know where he's going to shake out when we talk NFL draft talk, but I think Big Ten talk, that's where we'd be.
It's for keeps in the NFC. If you don't win about 11 or 12 games, you're not going to the playoffs in the NFC. Maybe one division winner might scunch in there at 10 wins, but wild card, you got to be good.
You definitely have to be good, and we'll be talking about why does the NFC get a playoff team at 8-8, or NFC East, I should say. With 9-7, all these other teams, there'll be a wild card team with an 11-5 record, playing the Cowboys or Eagles at home. It's tough, and that NFC West, with the Seahawks a game behind the 49ers. I still want to count Seattle out, and that schedule for San Francisco is going to get really hard. They're going to start getting some real tests. And we're going to see the kind of the grit of that team. And Dave, the 49ers kind of reminded me of a Bears team, where you had
49ers.
That soft schedule. You had that soft schedule last year.
Yeah.
No Garoppolo, weak schedule now. Now you got that schedule now. And you're capitalizing on it. And they're playing fantastic. And this is no derogatory view of the way the 49ers are playing, what they have accomplished. But again, next year when that schedule gets a little tougher, and when those non-conference games, instead of playing like the weakest team, you're playing, possibly a Green Bay or another New England team. That's where you're like, okay, do we have the moxie to do this? So I think that's when we'll really see who they are. But they're playing fabulous.
They got Jimmy G. Come on, they got a coach. They don't have pretenders like Trubisky and Nagy.
See how he's done the Bears, Bo? It's really despicable.
What's sad is I can't watch the Bears, but Dave, I think of you now every time I watch the Bears.
But we used to.
You guys going back on the show together. Now I know you're a Bears guy. I think of you, and I'm like, he has to be in such agony. He got to be so aggravated.
He was just talking about the 63 championship. Yeah. He was bragging about the 63 championship.
The Bears are actually, like, I'm afraid for my son, because he will do harm to himself. He goes, he's worse than me, and it's painful. It's literally painful, especially since we thought this was going to be so good this year. All right,
poor
Bo,
Jacob.
I got an invitation for you. I don't know if you've heard this, but
breaking news today:
the Ironman Triathlon,
October 3rd, 2020.
Have you heard of the Ironman Triathlon?
I have.
I know you have. Now we lost to Tulsa, which makes you wonder about the Ironman. But we lost to Tulsa. They get the full one. However, October 3rd, 2020, I think it's a 3-year deal. The half triathlon, which is 1.2-mile swim, 56-mile bike, 13.1-mile run. It's coming to Memphis. It's going to be in Shelby Farms. This lake is really pretty, Hyde Lake.
We want you in town. We will sponsor you.
We want you to come.
Oh, wow. When is it? 2020.
October 3rd. Yeah, basically 11
weeks.
months from now. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, I guess we'll have to,
I mean,
let me
half triathlon, that's child's play for you.
Teams? Or is it just all individual?
I'm going to let you guys in on a secret.
What?
I have the floating ability of a rock.
So you're the runner. What's your running streak extended to, Bo?
And that's what gags me. I know I can do it, but again, like, a 1.2 mile, even the 3.4 mile swim, in terms of running or bicycling, that's a pretty long swim. So,
the real triathlon is 2.5 mile swim, isn't it? It's 2.5 mile swim, like
too far for me.
120 mile bike ride and a marathon.
I think the longest swim I ever went on was to get my Boy Scout swimming merit badge at Boy Scout camp, and it was like 900 yards.
How about those ultra marathoners? I mean, this is like child's play for that.
Bo, tell our listeners, what's your streak up to on days running?
I don't know the exact date today, but I do know on Black Friday, my running streak will reach 8,000 days.
8,000 days?
8,000 days, at least 3 miles a day.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And could I tell you how bad I hated waking up Saturday morning to get my 3 miles in before I had to drive to Michigan? So,
man,
what's the coldest you've ever got up and got your run in?
There's been some cold ones. Last year,
you live in Youngstown. It's cold.
Yeah, last year I did 5 miles. I'll send you a picture when we hang up. But I did about 5 miles. I think it was negative 25, but I did it in a tank top and shorts.
Oh wow!
So I like the.
And Bo, I know I've told you before, I've never gone jogging one time in my life. You run for both of us, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, we'll have to think about the. Like I said, listen, if you guys can sponsor me for that half triathlon, but I may put floaties in my wetsuit, so you guys might be in a controversial mess. I don't know if you want that.
If I did my math correctly here, you have, when you get to Black Friday, you will have run for 21.91 straight years.
Yeah, it'll be 22 years on January 4th.
Wow. Incredible. Man, that is dedication.
How are your knees? How are your hips?
You know what? I mean, praise God, Dave. Everything's good.
What's your resting heart rate?
You know what? That's the funny thing. I don't know where my glutes are. I don't know my resting. Like when I go running with some people, they got all this equipment on. And, they're like, hey, tomorrow's a rest day because I got to, get my, I know where my hamstrings are. I know where my knees and my calves are. Other than that, my ankle. What's the
closest you ever came to just, I can't do it today. I'm just not up for it. In 22 years.
Yeah, this is probably about 10 years ago. I think after my first 50 miler, I got really, really sick. Just the flu heavy, my body was just.
That's what knocked me
out.
That
was really tough. That was really tough going down there. But birth of the kids, they gave her the epidural. I was out the door. True story.
Oh, Bo, that is tremendous.
It's amazing you're still married is the amazing part of that. When you're just doing a 3 miler, what's your pace?
I'd say 7:20 pace.
Okay.
Normal pace. 7:30 normal. I'm not the fastest guy by any stretch.
But you're done in 25 minutes.
Yeah, I mean on a I think my fastest 5K is like 18 minutes. But
Take
I don't do
that
a lot
far,
of racing.
Skunk. He didn't do anything compared to you. He only ran for about a year.
Yeah. But there's people who do a lot more. But listen. I like running. Like last night. I did my work and then I went and had pizza and wings and beer.
Wow.
So I'm not. I like. It could have been golf. It could have been poker. It could have been bowling. It could have been. I don't know.
But it's running.
Anything. Chess. But I just love running.
All right, last thing. I had no idea we were going to get on this, but it's perfect for the triathlon. You have to come and do this. But when do you see the streak coming to an end? Is this something you just want to do till you're 80, or what? What is the deal?
Yeah, I get. I mean, I don't plan on stopping because I enjoy it so much. So, I mean, as of right now, in my mind there would be something catastrophic or bad that would hinder me from, waking up the next day and going out and get my 3 miles.
Let's hope that never happens.
It's like those kids that really did love math. I never could I loved history and reading comprehension and things like geography and things like that. But, different brains, and you love running, and
you don't
I do not run unless somebody's chasing me.
You don't have to do math while it's sleeting.
Well, Brett, I always tell them they're chasing me in my head.
There you go. Good job, Bo.
Bo, thank you as always.
We'll do it again next week.
All right. Have a great week, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bo Marchant, college
An original. Man.
That's some pretty...
That's dedication.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing. It really is. Almost as amazing as my man, Matt Eflin. At such an early age, he got into... Some people get into running. He got into, insurance. Matt Eflin Insurance Group in Bartlett. They may be having some big news here in the next few weeks. We're all excited about it. I'm excited just because Matt is a good guy who's really got this. He's got it down. He's got a special, unique way he does things. He's got this one-on-one approach to evaluate each individual insurance needs. And now the great thing is that's personal. A lot of people do that, but he does business too. Not many do both, but he does. And Matt Eflin and his insurance group do it well. So he'll sit down with you and he'll say, okay, personal, it's your family. What's important? What's the thing we want to protect the most? He'll find a product and you'll feel secure. Business, what's the forecast? Where do you want to be in 5 years? What's the most important thing we need to take care of and protect? And he finds the insurance product, and voila, at a good rate, you're there. You're protected. That's a great, secure feeling. If you want that feeling, if you want a quote, if you want that personalized one-on-one individual service, call this number, 757-2315, 757-2315. That's the number for the Eflin Insurance Group.
I'm really a medical marvel, the more I think about it.
And how pray tell
is that? To have lived 57 years with the eating habits and the lack of exercise habits that
you're still skinny.
And the bad habits for a long time that I maintained.
Well, something's looking after you.
That's clean living.
That's how we got to do. That's how we got to.
I've never gone jogging.
You've never done any kind of like running?
Never have put on a pair of jogging shorts, stretched out, and gone jogging. Now, I had to sprint some playing on some teams, but just wake up on Saturday morning and get a good There's a great guy at Ole Miss, Shannon Singletary. He's a marathoner, and no matter where we go, no matter the road trip, you're going to see him around the hotel coming in, hot or cold, with the counter on his wrist. Great guy, and he always looks at me and goes, "You're a mess." A certified mess.
And then he goes and has a big meal and probably drinks a few beers like Bo does. Doesn't have to worry about it. Stay skinny.
Well, as I've told you, I never had a few beers.
No, which is why you don't do it anymore.
You got to know your limits.
That's exactly right. Our limit has come for this segment. We got to take a break. When we come back, the Big Cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. That would be Steve Earhart. We'll find out if he knows anything about who's coming. That's next on Sportstime with Wolo and Stats.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Your nationally ranked Memphis Tigers football team is back home on the Friday after Thanksgiving against rivals Cincinnati. This is our city, our team, and our stadium. We showed the world what Memphis can do when we all stand together. And now it is time to do it again. Tickets start at just $20 and are available now at GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. It is Memphis Tigers football versus Cincinnati on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Sponsored by Sedgwick.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
I'm here with Robert Cox, kitchen manager of the Rendezvous Restaurant. tell us about those great ribs at the Rendezvous.
Rendezvous stands alone in a unique barbecue style, only found in Memphis, Tennessee. We don't smoke our ribs, we char broil them. The guys cooking our ribs have been doing it for 30 years. Mr. Charlie Virgos taught the guys the technique himself, and still to this day, they teach newcomers that come in the door. After our ribs come out the pit, we pre-cut every order, so you easily can tear them apart. We baste our ribs on a plate and sprinkle our seasoning all over them.
So, Robert, are ribs what everyone comes to the Rendezvous for?
The beef brisket is now our second best seller behind the ribs. We also have lamb riblets, half chicken, pork shoulder, chopped chicken, cheese and sausage plate. Nachos are fantastic. We also carry a Greek salad. The list goes on.
Robert, where can we find out more about all of these great options?
Our restaurant menu is online at hogsfly.com, and recently we just added our catering menu online.
Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous Restaurant, a family-owned restaurant in downtown Memphis, in the alley since 1948.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infinity of Memphis, and we've got a new Infinity crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infinity has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And the new QX50 offers more horsepower than its Audi, Lexus, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
Infinity of Memphis and online at infinityofmemphis.com.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Sports fans, if you're looking for a great place to retire for 55 plus, the perfect spot is Town Village Audubon Park, corner Cherry and Park. This Friday, Eli and Greg are going to be there live from 10 to 1. Come hungry. We're serving up 3 Little Pigs barbecue with beans and coleslaw, and we're giving away 4 rounds of golf at Wedgwood Golf Course, plus 2 carts. Wedgwood greens are absolutely beautiful this year, and they have the coldest beer and the best burgers around. See you at Town Village this Friday, 10 to 1, 950 Cherry Road.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in Family Leisure Studios. This time, every football season, we talk to our friend, the Big Cheese, the head honcho.
Getting close.
From the AutoZone Liberty. Well, it is. He's actually got to work now for a bit. Steve Earhart joins us.
Shot. Steve works all the time. Come on, Dave.
Yeah, well, it's great to be here with you guys. But,
glad to have you, Steve.
Isn't this the weekend where there's always the big upsets as you get the weekend
Oh,
before
gosh,
Thanksgiving?
don't say that.
Don't say that.
Have you seen the line, seriously? I know you have. Have you seen that line in the Tigers USF? That's
big.
crazy.
Yeah. What? I haven't seen the latest.
Well,
Is
it was
moving a lot?
14.
It opened at 14. It actually went yesterday to 15.5, and now it's down to 14.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know
that's
what the
not
heck
much.
that says.
That's just a few. That's just Dave, you putting your big wallet there. No, I'm just kidding you about it. No, I know none of us can bet in this game, but it's fun to look at that spread and talk about it. But no, I think usually this time of the year there's a few upsets. Some teams are getting banged up,
sure.
and then there's going to be that big upset. There hasn't been the real monumental ones since I guess that South Carolina beat Georgia or Appy State won a couple of games, but. So looking at the schedule this week, there's a lot of big games, and Penn State and Ohio State playing against each other, and out west there's a few key games, and in the Big 12 there's some key games, and of course Memphis needs to keep right on winning because they're right on track. They got their fate in their own hands.
They do, and they really have to keep winning because SMU or Tulane, and one of those teams will eliminate themselves this week as they play each other, but they could steal the western side of the AAC if Memphis were to falter.
That's a good point, David, and I think Memphis fans need to look at that and recognize that Memphis does need to win both this weekend and then on Black Friday when they host Cincinnati here at the stadium. So that's the clearest way to get there, because if they stumble and Cincinnati wins out, then and SMU and Tulane plays, I guess it's they play at SMU, and then SMU plays at Navy. So if SMU wins out, they'll be 11-1 with their only loss being here to the Tigers. So, SMU could sneak in. They're in the same thing with Navy. If Navy, they play SMU at home this week, and then they're at Houston. So if they were to beat SMU and then they beat Tulane, and Memphis stumbles, and they would jump into that Western Division game and then play against Cincinnati. So it's all up to Memphis, though, and I think they've got the firepower to do it.
But wait, Cincinnati could lose at Temple, lose to Memphis, and then Temple is in the East. So there's still,
a lot of
with 2 weeks to go, a lot of questions that are still there. But by the way,
Steve, I always said we always had a playoff in college football before we had a bracket. It was called the regular season. Now we have that, and we have a bracket, and I'm fine by it.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the one big reason why the folks that basically run college football are the commissioners of the leagues. It's not the NCAA. The NCAA still runs basketball because they get all the money from the basketball tournament.
We're very aware of that.
Very well of that, yeah. But in football, it's the conferences, and they have done a good job of protecting the regular season, just what you said, Stats, because they want to look and see that every week games matter. It's not just like the NBA, where you're playing along and then late in the season you turn it on or you rest players along the way. But because now one of the big games that's looming large is that very first weekend when Oregon played Auburn, and people are talking about, is that going to be a key game that decides who gets into the Final Four? So yeah, there's a lot of football to be played here these next 2 weeks, and again, I'm predicting there could be an upset somewhere. Certainly not, I hope, with Memphis, but along the way there'll be an upset.
Did you by any chance see in today's commercial appeal front section, they do on that second page Mid-South Memories all the time?
I love it.
And there was a great photo of Bud Dudley. I think it was 1979, and Tulane played in the game.
Played Penn State.
Played Penn State in the game. And the Tulane AD,
9-3.
there's a picture before, or I guess while they're choosing them, right? And there's a big blackboard, and they've got all the bowl games, all like 11 of them.
Right. Well, that was before computers and before automatic typewriters and email, and then you'd have your big chalkboard, and you'd be up there chalking up the games. And you're right, there were I think we're the seventh oldest bowl game.
Right.
But by '79, I think there were probably 15 to 18 bowl games, and then I've been doing it for 26 years, and there's been
on that board passed. So they had the big cotton sugar.
You got your paper? I'd love to see it.
I don't have that particular. Just
That's my
the
favorite
sports section.
Boy, this is how old I am.
I'll bring it to you tomorrow.
My favorite section of the newspaper, other than the sports section, that and reading the obituaries.
Yeah, well, I still do. I do
Good
both.
Lord. I didn't think I'd ever get to that level.
I do both every morning.
That game in 79, 9-3 Penn State, the only time a Joe Paterno team came to Memphis. They were in the first AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Philadelphia with Rip Engel coaching the Nittany Lions. They came to Memphis, won 9-3, 3 Herb Menhart field goals for Penn State, Eddie Murray field goal for Tulane, but the MVP of the game, Rock Hontus, quarterback for Tulane on the losing team.
Who's the Tulane AD? Because he's in the picture.
I don't know that, Steve. I don't remember that.
Larry
Smith was the coach.
But I think that what you guys point out is that the great treasure that we do have here in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, there's so few cities that have had this kind of tradition and history, and it's all a credit to the people of Memphis, because like I always say, we don't have the beaches, we don't have a fancy NFL stadium, but we got the good people that really roll out the red carpet, the hospitality, and just as the coaches last year said when Oklahoma State, when Mike Gundy said he really respects the tradition and history that they have here in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So I want to thank everybody for all their great efforts, and we start this weekend, actually on Friday. We have our Ladies Love Liberty fashion show and luncheon on Friday. We're honoring a lot of the ladies that have contributed so much over time to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And of course, we announced last week the players for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl High School All-Star Game, and we're on a roll now with all our events coming up. And so, again, we open the gates to anybody who wants to help participate, be on our committees, to host the teams, and it's that random act of kindness to somebody that's in town that I think is so important for our community.
And nothing better than there was a lot of things great about it, but on game day, when they had the foul footage of Kirk Herbstreit running back punts and even snaring a kickoff against Air Force in 90. Steve, I want to say in 79, can't believe that's 40 years ago. It feels like about 2 weeks ago I feel myself sitting at the game with my friends. But I want to say Todd Blackledge was a freshman reserve quarterback in 79 on that Penn State team.
I think that's right. And when Kirk Herbstreit was here, I had pulled out his picture from the game program from that year in 1979, and he was it was 1980, I guess. 1990. Yeah, now you're getting me all confused there, Seth. But I pulled out his picture, and it was really interesting. It said Kirk Herbstreit, 6'3", 212 pounds, Centerville, Ohio, sophomore quarterback. And I blew the picture up and I gave it to him on the field right before he did the telecast of the game. He tried to be I really don't care about it, but I think he ended up taking that picture. And Lee Corso, of course, talked about his great history with us here when he was coaching against the University of Memphis, and then, of course, when he was coaching against the Memphis Showboats when he was head coach of the Orlando Renegades. So it is tradition and history is really important, and again, we need to keep going here and keep fighting against all these other cities that want to take the bowls away, with the new stadiums being built in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and now next year the Boston Red Sox have a game up in Fenway Park. The Chicago
Which
Cubs
the American
get a game.
The Americans connected with that, yeah.
That's exactly right. So that's why it's important, and so I really beseech everybody in Memphis to grab a ticket and come to the game, no matter who's in the game. It's one of those kind of things, whoever you support, support your team, but also come out and support Memphis. And turn out it's the 61st edition, is the 7th oldest bowl game, but it is pretty special. And again, thanks to everyone who works hard to put on all our events.
It's cool on that chalkboard in that picture, and I'll bring it for you tomorrow. It's got the rose, the sugar, the cotton. And then you can see the order, and behind the Liberty Bowl, which is the 7th, there's the Fiesta, the Sun Bowl, the Gator Bowl. It's wild how everything has sort of evolved.
A few years ago,
and by the way, there's no sponsors' names on any bowl. That's how the business has changed.
A few years ago, in that section of the paper, what is it? Is it Memphis Memories?
Yeah, Memories.
It showed a picture at the Touchdown Club of Tim Treadwell, Mr. AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Reggie Barnes, and Coach Woody Hayes over at Chickasaw. Wow. And I sent that picture to Archie Manning. I said, "Look at this picture of the young Rugg." And he sent back. He goes, "Yeah, but you didn't see the next picture." And I sent back to him in the text and went, "Huh?" He said, "The next picture of Woody Hayes slugging Rugg."
Well, for your listeners, he's referring to Reggie Barnes, who's a past president of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We've had some great people this year. The president of our association is Bill Giles, who's the executive vice president and CFO of AutoZone. Great leader, and then we've every year we have a new president of the association, and Bill's lined up. We'll be probably trying to catch a few games over these next few weeks as it lines up. And folks ask us, in the SEC, of course, we need Tennessee to get eligible. We need Missouri to get eligible just to have enough teams. We won't have Missouri coming back because they were here in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl last year. And then we need, this is no knock against Ole Miss, but since Ole Miss already is knocked out, they don't have enough wins. We need Mississippi State to win the Egg Bowl, so they'll become eligible too. So
for you to get a team, how many teams have to become eligible, considering they're going to have at least 3 up?
Yeah, if they're going to have 3 up, and when you say 3 up, that means 3 into the 12 slots of the New Year's 6, and that they can just get 1 up there in the 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 in the CFP playoff. But let's assume that that's LSU that gets in up there. Then the SEC gets an automatic slot against the Big 12 in the Sugar Bowl. And then let's say that's Alabama, or is that Georgia? And then Florida's sneaking up there into 10th
Well, I got
position.
news for you. Georgia and LSU could both make the playoff.
Well, that's true, and then you'd have the Big Ten going crazy, saying that we're playing some pretty good ball this year. We've got Minnesota and Penn State and Wisconsin, and there's a bias against those teams from the South, and that's what they believe. I'm not saying that's true, but that's the fight among the conferences and schools like the teams.
There's
out
no
in
bias
Pac-12.
against the South. That's garbage.
But those Pac-12 teams, they say that hey, we always get left out. That's because we're on the West Coast. Nobody sees us play, but then they had one game, and that was the Oregon-Auburn game. So the SEC says, well, we played you and we beat you, and so that's why there's a big battle. But if we get 10 teams eligible and they get 3 teams up into the 12, then we'll be fine, and I think we'll get one of those teams we just talked about of the SEC. So then on the Big 12 side, what a bunch of great teams in the Big 12. I mean, you got Baylor and Oklahoma and Okie State. We won't have Okie State back because we had them last year. And then you've got Iowa State and Kansas State and Texas all battling it out. So TCU's right there on the edge, and Gary Patterson always gets his team playing well in November. So we'll have a really good opponent on the field from the Big 12.
All right, we got like 15 seconds real quick. People have said Memphis, because they played 2 years ago in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, they couldn't play again that quickly. Is that true?
No, that's not necessarily true. I mean, it was a great opportunity for Memphis. They'd never played in our game in the 60 years, so when they played in our game 2 years ago, and it was a great opportunity for all the young student-athletes to have their family and friends be able to see them and save that few $1,000s they having to travel to a bowl. So, we're rooting for Memphis to win out and go to the Cotton Bowl because that would be a great achievement for the university and those young student-athletes. But if they don't make it, then we'll certainly be knocking on the door.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you,
appreciate
Steve.
We'll talk to you next week.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Earhart, Big Cheese, head honcho.
Our texters.
Of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
The best. 67129 text line. First Bank's one of the best. Hinman Wall, Tulane AD.
Hinman Wall, that was the guy in the picture.
And another texter, and he's right about this. Penn State and Tulane got into a throwdown at an event at Silky's, and a Penn State player, it was a little bit embarrassing for Joe Pa. A Penn State player got a little inebriated on the square and just decided to sleep in somebody else's house. The door was open.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. It made
Really?
the papers. Joe Pa sent him home that week. I'll tell you between the break, I'll tell you the story of our crew. It came over. We went to Solomon and Alfred's after the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's square days, isn't it?
That's the last days of
Solomon and
Alfred's. I was here for.
Yeah.
That's it. I was not here for that picture in 79 with Hinman Wall.
Do you know what replaced that location, that property?
It was the hotel, the French Quarter Inn.
That's it.
Yeah. I was there for that one, too.
Yeah, me too.
I remember. We got to take our final time out. This portion of the show brought to you by Soulfish. I love Soulfish. My wife and I go there at least once a week. And you can get anything at Soulfish. And now we got 4 of them. They opened up the new one in Wolf Chase to go with the original in Cooper Young, right on Cooper Avenue. Shops of Forest Hill Irene in Germantown on the Collierville border. And, they've opened up one in Oxford. They've got them all over. They got one in Little Rock. It's just, it's the best. It's the best for catfish. Well, you've even said that. Number 1 for catfish, number 1 for seafood, number 1 for soul food. And you can get the fried shrimp's unbelievable. I like to get it with my shrimp tacos. Everything is fresh. Everything is so good. And it just wins everything. And, I'll tell you, how they win? It's always crowded. And the new one at Wolf Chase, hard to get in. It's that good. The same thing sometimes will happen with mine on Perkins in East Memphis. You just can't beat Soulfish. Please go find out why. Last portion of the show coming your way in a minute, including crunch time. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
The holiday season is here, and it's time for our best offer of the year during the Ford Black Friday event. Now, for a limited time, get 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models. You're ready, and so are we. Start the season off right and don't wait to enjoy our best deal of the season. That is 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models. The Ford Black Friday event ends soon, so hurry in today. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by December 2nd, 2019. See participating dealer for complete details.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
I almost never go to Central Barbecue without running into somebody I know.
That could be because you only eat at Central Barbecue.
It's because Central Barbecue is where Memphians go to get barbecue and has consistently been voted the most popular barbecue restaurant among locals.
Actually, that's really saying something.
I know. Memphis is the nation's capital of barbecue. With all the choices, people who live here go to Central Barbecue.
They do get their share of tourists.
Sure, because Central Barbecue has been mentioned on TV and in tons of national publications. You know why?
Because of the great food?
Because those TV shows and magazines look for the place where the locals go, and that, my friend, is Central Barbecue.
Hey, you guys, the Liquor, Wine, and Beer Oasis awaits you at the Spirit Shop with a special invite for Thursday, November the 21st. Join the live remote 3 to 6 p. with Wolo and Stats. Take advantage of holiday pre-Christmas deals on your favorite liquor or wine. Stock up. We're giving away 2 pairs of VIP tickets to the U of M and Ole Miss game, 2 $25 gift cards for Neil's Bar and Grill, and Wedgwood Golf Course 4 rounds and 2 golf carts. See you at the Spirit Shop, 4848 Poplar, the Little Log Cabin Liquor, Wine, and Beer Oasis.
Hi, friends. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Jewelers, and this will be my 52nd Christmas offering the finest gifts of jewelry you can find anywhere in Memphis. Whether she's giving you hints about what would make her happy, or whether you're going to surprise her this year, let me invite you to join the thousands of Memphis men who have been putting beautiful gifts from Russell Brothers Jewelers under the tree for decades. Come see our wonderful selection of the finest gemstones, diamonds, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and all the rest. Put them in rings, pendants, bracelets, and earrings. Let your imagination go and think inside that box, the Russell Brothers box. Like I said, we have a huge selection, but if you don't see what you're looking for, we specialize in custom design just for her. At Russell Brothers Jewelers, we take great pride in offering the very best to our customers, the very best in beauty, the very best in quality and value and service. Come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers and let us help you be the very best Santa you can be. Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Final portion of the program brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in Memphis for 11 years. It'll be 12 here in about a month. That's the truth. 12 years of selling more certified pre-owns. It starts with the product. It starts with Hyundai or Genesis, because you can get that, of course, at Homer Skelton Hyundai. They're one of and I shouldn't say few, but they are able to sell Genesis cars, and not all Hyundai dealerships can. They're making this one even bigger for that, and they're bringing more product because the place is just so good at what they do. That's the truth. It's under Chris True's direction. The certifieds are under Ray Melton, who's been in the car business for literally 60 years. I mean, it's just a great story. And you got to go find out for yourself. Get on Lamar. You know that every new car, Hyundai or Genesis, is guaranteed. Well, it's a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. That's a guarantee. 100,000 miles, that's how much they love that product. You marry that with the service, and you've got the perfect place to buy a car. Go see for yourself at Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. It is crunch time.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. It's crunch time. In your life
have you seen anything like that?
Golly, I don't remember that one.
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He threw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Every day we have crunch time, and what I learned today was this. On these coaching searches, just because you may have had a backup year this year doesn't mean you're not a good coach. We know Mike Leach is a good coach, but he's had a thin year this year. Les Miles this year at Kansas. We know what he's trying to fight, but I think he's still a good coach. David Shaw at Stanford. Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern.
Great
I don't
coach.
think he'll ever leave, but great coach. Bad year
Had a
this year.
Bad year.
They come to mind. What'd you learn today?
I learned today that Lauren Ashman is the new Executive Associate Athletic Director for Senior Women's Administration. How about that? That's a big title.
It is a big title.
She's the one that is coming in because of the consultant, based on the problems that Melissa McFerrin had with Tom Bowen and everything else. They have brought in this this administrator. She comes from Bowling Green. Welcome to the family.
For sure. I could have done without today. Are we really going to start the questioning of the Patriots? We kind of are, and they've got one loss. Until they are knocked out of the playoffs, they're the favorites. Do not doubt them. Belichick and Brady, they are the team to beat. I can't believe we're even tiptoeing into this, Dave, and we both kind of are. That they're
9-1.
They're gettable. They're not gettable. They're the team to beat until they're knocked out. And if they get to go through Gillette, it's easy.
They're the third best offense in the league, and they're complaining about their offense. I think it's right. I think Bo hit it on the head. Basically, they got to have a chip on their shoulder. It drives them. Belichick does,
motivation.
And now that's the same thing for Tom Brady. Here's what I could have done without. Miami Dolphins waived running back Mark Walton today after he was arrested this morning and charged with aggravated battery of a pregnant woman. The woman is pregnant with his child.
What a shame. He waived himself. And in most cases, don't you fire yourself or waive yourself? In most cases, aren't you your own worst enemy? Which just
maybe most cases. It doesn't have to be a vast majority, but in this particular case.
Sure the case.
That's
tonight.
For sure.
We didn't get to talk about it today, but Kentucky was close last night. It was a 1-point game.
I know.
And boy, I never do this. The officiating, horrible down the stretch of that game. If Kentucky got breathed on, they were calling a foul on Mark Mad Dog Madsen, Utah Valley State team.
You'd probably know this, and I was meaning to bring it up earlier. When a team that's number one in the country loses to a team like Evansville, that they're a 25-point favorite, have they ever then gone on to win a national title? That's the kind of loss that tells you something about the team.
I bet
it's a little like
it is. It's
I knew
sign.
when Josh Pastner's team lost to CBU. I knew the season wasn't over, but I knew
that was telltale
that they weren't going to be good.
Grizzlies tonight downtown at FedEx Forum against Golden State. Grizzlies favored. When was the last time the Grizzlies were favored over the Dubs?
That's just amazing.
You going to watch any of the MAC football tonight?
I might, but I'm going to watch mainly the Grizzlies.
Ole Miss playing Seattle tonight. Elgin Baylor's not walking through that door for Seattle. They're not even the Chieftains anymore. Well, like when they were when he played
Is
there.
that game on TV? Can we watch that game?
6:30. They're the Red Hawks now.
Wow.
Bree and Tyree's got to start making some threes. That'll be big Saturday.
Tomorrow, we're busy. We've got, starting at 3:30, TJ Reeves, Mike DeCourcy, Rick Horo, Jason Munz. The hits just keep on coming. That'll do it for us. Thank you for listening today. We really appreciate it. We'll do it same time, same place tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
this is John Conway with Conway Services. With a family coming home for the holidays, are you going to be running out of hot water? Not with a tankless water heater from Conway Services. It may be time for a tankless water heater that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Plus, no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64